It's just.
Can't do that.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2023 Irish Open Championships from the National Aquatic Centre in Blanchardstown. My name is David Thompson. I'm here with India McGlynn, bringing you 5 days of streaming action from the pool. India, you looking forward to the week?
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting week. We've got 5 days of some fast swimming. We've got our international swimmers here joining us in the NAC this weekend. We're starting off our Heat 1 session here this Saturday morning with 7 events. We're starting the first event with the 50 metre backstroke, the men's 50 metre backstroke, going straight into the women's 50 metre freestyle, so 2 very fast events there. Then we're coming into the men's 400 metre freestyle, followed then by the women's 400 metre freestyle. We're then followed by the men's 100 metre breaststroke, the women's 100 metre fly to finish as well. So looking forward to some fast events this morning.
Yes, and obviously this the premium long course meet of the year for Irish athletes, looking at qualifications for summer meets, World Championships, the inaugural European Under-23 Championships obviously taking place in Dublin in August in this very pool. Also the European Junior Championships and the EYOF European Youth Olympics for the juniors. So lots of qualifying times looking to be had. Lots of fast swimming. So obviously India mentioned earlier the 50 metres backstroke. So this is sort of the first time these athletes will all be tapered and ready to swim fast in the season. They'll all be shaved, ready to go. So the last sort of 3-4 weeks, some of them less, they'll have been bringing down their training, making sure that this is as fast as they've swam all year. So starting off obviously with the 50 back, the men's 50 back, and then obviously, as India said, moving into the women's 50 free, which will be great to see.
It's one of the main events for Irish athletes this year, the Irish Open Championships. So we've got quite a few Irish athletes coming in, mainly just looking to see how their year's training, their long course training has been going so far. But we definitely have quite a few hopefuls now this weekend looking for those summer meets as well, as David mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and obviously now getting really back into the swing of things post-COVID. Obviously, there was a few years there where things were a bit weird and training was limited for a lot of these sort of regional athletes. So now we're in 2023, COVID's well behind us. They've hopefully all had a good block of long course training. Good block since the Irish short course in December. So it'll be really, really interesting to see some of these swimmers. Obviously, like we said earlier, there's a lot of meets up for grabs, a lot of competitions to try and qualify for. Not only international competitions, but certain athletes have their own personal aspirations for what they want to do. So the officials look to be in place now, and the first swimmers, you'll see them now on the bottom of your screen. First 3 swimmers in the men's 50 metres backstroke.
And like you said, David, it's finally nice to see a full stadium here, or a full pool here. So hopefully we can get a good bit of atmosphere from the crowds around and really support these swimmers going through their first official 50 metre long course event. But like David said, we're starting off with the 50 metre backstroke. We've got 3 swimmers. So we've got Oscar Longmore from East Cavan in lane 3. We've got Leon Biss from Swim Belfast in lane 4. And we've got Ben Coleman from Dolphin in lane 5.
Yeah, so the 50 backstroke, obviously not an Olympic event. And the Olympics obviously coming up next in 2024 in Paris, so not this summer. But the 50 metre backstroke is in the World Championship programme. So these swimmers will be looking to start off the meet some fast swimming. First heat. Okay, no problems with the start there. In lane 3, we've got Oscar Longmore of East Cavan. Lane number 4 from Swim Belfast, Leon Biss, and he's beside Ben Coleman in lane 5 of Dolphin. It's really important to keep your rate up here and keep the head steady. Not letting the head move too much. Looks like a tight battle here, India.
Yeah, we've got a nice stroke right here coming in from lane 3. But it looks like our fastest qualifier into this event, lane 4. So we've got Leon Biss of Swim Belfast. Looks like he's ready to take this first heat. He's got a qualifying time of 31.88. I think he's just going to touch just inside of that with 31.19. So great swims actually from all 3 swimmers there. I think we've got first 3 PBs of the meet.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly how I want to see coming into the finish there. You see, so hard to spot the finish on backstroke. You see lane 5 there, kind of got it wrong. Sort of hit his sort of elbow on the finish. So you really need to spot the finish well. Obviously those flags are 5 meters outside, so those swimmers will know exactly how many strokes they should be taking. The 50-meter events are all about spotting the start, spotting the finish. Heat number 2. Okay, the full kind of pool's a lot more full now. Nobody in lane 2, nobody in lane 9, but these swimmers will want to be going to 15 meters underwater, utilising the underwater kicks. Coming through 25 now.
Yeah,
looks to be lane number 5, Alexander Newman.
Great start from lane number 5 there. He's 15 meters underwater, so perfect breakout when he came through. So hand catch on that first stroke was really strong. So you can already see he's about half a body length ahead. So let's just have a look at this finish, see if he can finish strong as well.
Yeah, and it is Newman. Good swim from him, 29.81. Big drop for him. First time under 30 seconds, I think.
Big barrier
he'll be happy
to break.
with that. Yeah, he'll be happy with that. So obviously in the later events in Heat 7, we've got Shane Ryan, obviously the double Olympian, training out of the NAC, premium world medalist in the 50-meter backstroke, so European medalist also in this exact event. So you'll see a real world-class showing of backstroke in a few heats' time. But on to Heat 3. Full pool. Here we go. Obviously they have the ledge, the backstroke ledge now to stop swimmers slipping. And those swimmers can adjust that to however they want, however high they want that wedge. So it just eliminates that sort of anxiety of your feet potentially slipping. I was never a backstroker, but I'm sure it would really be scary to have your feet slip at the start of a race.
Absolutely. We had some great starts there, especially from lane 4 there, David Power of Portmarnock. He's our fastest qualifier into this heat of 30.07. But it also looks like we've got an outside swimmer there coming in from lane 7, Luke Woolley of Clare Morris. Looks like he might just take this heat.
Yeah, lovely.
Strong finish, so 28.95 from Luke Woolley. So again, another great PB and breaking that 30-second barrier again. So big barrier to break.
Yeah, good finish there, spotted it well. You notice with these better swimmers, the heads aren't bobbing as much. Everything has to stay flat. You know, if you kind of compare it to sort of a speedboat, a fast speedboat won't be bouncing up and down on the top of the water. It'll be flat. So the flatter you stay, the less drag, the faster you'll go. So flying through these now on the heat number 4.
Yeah, we're getting into some faster qualifiers here. So we've got a full heat of everyone under that 30-second mark, but it's pretty much only a 0.3 difference between all 10 swimmers. This should be a fast heat. Good swimming.
Yeah, these swimmers, great way to start off the meet with a 50. Gets the crowd going. Splash and dash before we've got some longer events, the men's and women's 400 freestyle, obviously coming after these 250 events.
Great to start an event with a splash and dash. It really gets the energy going for the week to go.
It does. And we'll obviously have Daniel Whiffen in that 400 meter freestyle. One of the premium distance freestylers in the world at the minute. We're blessed to have him here from Ireland. So here we go. Heat number 4, backstroke. Very important on the start here, if you're watching on the stream, to flick your feet up so your feet don't drag, your toes don't drag on the surface of the water. Yeah, you see a few of them had their feet kind of dragging on the water. You want to flick your feet right up and get nice and deep so you can get up at 15. But straight away, top of your picture there. Great rate, holding it really well, isn't he, India?
Yeah, great start there from lane number 6. So we've got Christian Nyland of the NAC, keeping that stroke rate really high and also keeping his head still. So still about a quarter of a body length ahead. Let's see if he can maintain it right into the wall. See if his finish is strong. Yeah,
he's looking good, I think. Oh, lane 2 maybe. Yeah, lane 2 right at the end. Adrian Wong, 29.06. That's a fantastic swim for him. PB. But you saw that. So lane number 6 there was really, really coming in strong. That was Christian Nyland of the NAC. It was really, really great start, but then the back half of that race, lane 2, just kind of finished it off better. So you need to keep that kick going, especially the whole way on a 50-meter backstroke.
No times to make mistakes in the 50-meter backstroke. Unfortunately, you need to get a strong start. You need to get a strong finish, and if that stroke rate even decreases by 1, throughout that 50, you're going to notice that drop off if you have a clear lead from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a sort of the 50s are a weird one. It's sort of a mix between kind of aggression and relaxation. So almost relaxed aggression. You can't try too hard. You've almost got to try about 95, 96%. That's the sweet spot. 'Cause if you try too hard, you tense up, you spin too much, you'll just not catch any water. So these swimmers, the 50s a funny one. Even though it looks like they're just trying as hard as they can, they're not. They're sort of controlling that high tempo. So into heat 5, getting into the first of our seeded heats now.
Looks like a pretty empty heat in this one. Only about 5 swimmers coming up into heat number 5.
And they slept in. Didn't fancy it. Saturday morning. Here we go, heat 5. Saw lane 7 there. Who was that? Daniel Edgar, really high up on the start there. Got really deep, good underwater. As you see there, he came up really, really well. But next to him, two down there. Excuse me. Ewan McLeod looks really, really strong. Nice legs, good rate, controlling that, coming into the finish. Looks like it's going to be McLeod. Yeah, easy. 27.9. That's right around. Slightly slower than his entry time, but that'll be way more than good enough for tonight.
Yeah, really strong swim from you. And I was chatting to him on the pool bank this morning, and he said he didn't sleep very well in the hotel, and he was up until 3 o'clock in the morning. So very strong swim from him. For a lack of sleep, to be fair. So very good swim from you, and I'm sure he'll be happy with that for a heat swim.
Was he partying? Was he? Party doesn't start yet, Ewan.
Party doesn't start yet.
Wait till Wednesday. Well, that's a good swim for him, though. Because he's been worrying about that. As a swimmer, you know yourself, India, when you don't sleep well the night before a big competition that you've been training for months and months for, it can really throw you off. So it takes a lot of sort of mental fortitude and relaxation to be able to go, you know what, the work's done, it's okay. Just don't panic.
Exactly. Like anything can kind of, I guess, throw you off, change your scenery. If you're staying in a hotel and it's not your home county, or if you're traveling over for a competition, these small things can throw you, but it's down to the athlete, I guess, just to make sure that they stay composed, they stay controlled. They know that they've trained up until this event, so they know that they have the speed behind them, they know they have the training behind them. So even with small hiccups like that, as long as they can stay focused, they should be able to swim well, and all needs to go back to the hotel, got a good nap now before this final session this evening. Yeah,
so he'll be happy to have made it through anyway. Well, he hasn't officially made it through yet, but he will. So lane number 4, actually, here we've got premium backstroker, young talent John Short. Trains in National Centre Limerick with coach John Shranick. He had a premium short course season. He was fantastic. Won the 100 metre backstroke here in this very pool. So seeing what he's like in the long course. He's in on a 26.37, so I imagine he'll just kind of cruise this, feel good, not put the afterburners on too hard, but he's looking good.
Yeah, you can see there, well, we knew from his short course season that he has got very, very strong underwater work, John. And you can see there, he's just come up a full body length ahead of everyone on a 50 metres, which is extremely impressive. He's very high in the water, nice strong stroke rate, head is completely still. So let's just have a look at this finish, but I'm sure he's going to be clocking in a fast time. And 26.00, it's a fantastic time there from John Short. So to be dropping 0.3 at his level is a very impressive swim for a heat swim. Yeah,
and especially in the morning there, I didn't think he'd be going for it as much, but then you could sort of see his rate was high, and he was sort of building that 50 really nicely into the back end. So 26 flat, he'll definitely be raging. He didn't go the 25, but that'll definitely come tonight. Yeah, really, really solid swim there.
Yeah, like you said, David, it's different between a heats and a final, so you can always kind of give that extra 5 to 10% in a final. So if he's clocking in 26.00 for his first event, first day, I think, yeah, he's definitely going to be on for a good competition this weekend.
Yeah, it was always good to get the first one be a good swim, whether it was your main event or not. If the first swim went well and you sort of knew that you were on it in some degree, that swimming's so mental, it's just a mental game. At this point, all the swimmers are physically perfectly prepared, so it's just all about standing up and doing it. So obviously that's last of heat now. Yes, last heat 7. We've got Shane Ryan. His best is down in the 24.3 range, so you're getting close to the world record at that kind of level. So hasn't been down there in a few years, so suffered with injuries, and obviously COVID training and things like that was limited. So it'll be great to see what he's like. I haven't caught up with him yet. See where he goes here.
Definitely is streets ahead there with the 24.30, but we've got Philip Duda there from Longford at a 27.63, and we've also got Sam Winston of Aer Lingus on either side of Shane Ryan there with a 28.11. So be interesting to see what times we can clock in this final heat of the 50 metre backstroke.
Yeah, you'll notice here Shane, watch out for his underwater kicks. He's one of the best underwater swimmers in the world. He's obviously part of the ISL, International Swimming League, which is obviously short course. And he was fantastic there. Really, really shines short course, but he's a fantastic long course swimmer as well.
Yeah, like you said, David, any young swimmers watching this stream right now, they should really be taking note of how Shane attacks the underwater and his nice strong breakout as well. As you can see, he's already a full body length ahead. So he really has worked on that first 15 metres of every race.
Anybody watching there, look what's setting him apart, is how still his head is. Look how still his head is. It's not moving. Kind of just coasting through here, not much effort at all. This would be a 25.65. He'd absolutely chilled there. So that'll be good, get him back for tonight. Hope that shoulder's all right, Shane. So that was good from Shane, and Philip Duda coming in 27.69. Just off his best, but settling into the meet nicely. First event done.
Yeah, look very comfortable from Shane there, not even panting to be honest at the end of his 50 metre
showing off there.
So be interesting to see now what time we can kind of clock in this evening. But yeah, great start for event number 1, the men's 50 metre backstroke. We had some good swims, so let's see if we can transfer that over to the women's 50 metre freestyle, which is our next event. We've got 7 heats in this event, and we've got some fast swimmers which we'll be looking for here. Who have we got, David?
Yeah, we've got Danielle Hill, obviously is the Irish senior record holder, Irish junior record holder, and the meet record holder. So she'll be coming in here, the Tokyo 2020 Olympian on the 50 metre freestyle. Qualified actually for the Olympics in the 100 metre backstroke, but is a fantastic elite freestyler as well. So she sort of switched her training up a wee bit, so it'll be interesting to see how that sort of affected her sprinting. She's been doing a wee bit more distance stuff to try and work that back end a bit better, obviously as an out and out sprinter. Kind of like I was, the back end was always tougher. So she's been switching it up a wee bit in training. So it'll be interesting to see how that's affected sort of her, especially her top end speed here. But I don't think she'll give too much away this morning. It'll be very, very controlled and very, very relaxed for her, like she always does. But heat 1 here of the women's 50 metre freestyle.
Again, like the 50 metre backstroke, there's not much time for any error in the 50 metre front crawl. As you can see, in majority of our heats, there's only 0.2 to 0.5 separating the swimmers within the heat. So as long as they get that strong start and they can come up straight into that fast stroke rate, it's pretty much just head down and sprint for the wall. Yeah, and it's exactly the same as the 50 metre backstroke. It's that relaxed aggression. You got all. When I used to swim it, I used to dive in, do my kicks, and then count the first 6 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice and slow, and then you build it. You build the race. You don't spin from the start. You'll never get it back. You know yourself, India. It was really like that in butterfly as well. You have to relax, keep everything relaxed, especially those first few strokes. Absolutely. The more you tense up, the more likely that you probably will make that error. You need to come into each of these events just knowing that your training behind you is going to carry you through, and you know that you've done that kind of sprint training, that power training. So as long as the swimmers can stay relaxed but still going that, like you said before, that 96-97% effort, they should clock in some fast swims here. Yeah, right. Absolutely. 50-53 was never on the first day usually. No, it's usually the last day. Usually towards the end, yeah. So bit of a switch up. Obviously this competition starting on a Saturday. I was saying India feels like a Wednesday or Tuesday, doesn't it? Doesn't feel like a Saturday yet. No. Got a full week ahead of us, David. Full week. Here we go. Heat 1. Yeah, looking quite nice. That leg kick's so important, that motor at the back. Girls looking good here, trying to limit the breathing, especially coming into these last sort of 15 metres. Limit the breathing. It's looking to be the top lane, lane number 6. Abby Yelverton looks strong. No breathing inside the flies, girls. Yeah, 29.04 for her, so that's a PB. 14-year-old, no, sorry. The 15-year-old, excuse me, from Limerick. That's a PB for her. Yeah, some great swims there. So like David was saying, what we'll start to notice as we go through the heats is we'll probably notice a lot less breathing as you go through the 50-metre front crawl. And we'll have some swimmers not breathing at all during the 50-metre front crawl. And what's also interesting to note is the different styles when it comes to front crawl as well. So you'll have some people that kind of sticking to that bent elbow, so high elbow recovery, but you also have a straight arm stroke on front crawl as well. So very much like a windmill, trying to gain as much distance per stroke as well. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how our swimmers go in this next heat as well. We've got a fuller heat coming up. Got 10 swimmers. Fastest qualifier is 29.00. The 16-year-old from ours, we've got Megan Diamond. So it'll be interesting to see now if she can break that 29-second barrier. It's always a big barrier to break as well, David.
Yes, absolutely it is. So, a lot of these swimmers in these early heats, they're not as fast, obviously. They'll all be a lot younger. They're not as fast as some of the swimmers in the seeded heats. So, they'll all have to go for it here. So, so there'll be no hanging about for these girls this morning. And it's just all about feeling, sort of settling yourself into the meet. Any swimmer I swam with or any coach would always talk about that, settle yourself into the meet. No worries about the first race, just sort of let it happen, go through the motions. Because the adrenaline will be so high anyway. Just let that carry you through. But here we go, full heat. Women's 53, heat 2. There's some swimmers stay under a bit longer, but look how many less swimmers are going to 15 metres as opposed to the backstroke. That's because unless you're a premium underwater kicker, you're not going to be faster above the water, but this is looking definitely like a step up from the heat before. Is it heat number 2, or lane number 2, excuse me, Eva Harrington from Sunday's Well. Kind of hurting a wee bit at the end, and it's the swimmer in lane 4 there. I think is going to take it quite comfortably, yeah. Like India said, Megan Diamond getting under that 29. 28.53, closely followed by Madison Emmett, 28.7, and Eva Harrington, like I said, 28.8, she's happy.
Yeah, really strong swim there from Megan Diamond. So like we said, as we're kind of going into these faster heats, you start to notice less breathing by the swimmers, and Megan only took her first breath there at the 25-metre mark, and then continuing with just 2 more breaths to finish off the 50, but still looking quite comfortable, still looking quite controlled. So yeah, that 28.5 isn't surprising from her, but I'm sure she'll be very happy with that swim.
Yeah, of course, like India said, limit the breathing is a real simple way to get faster at this event. It was one of my main events. And all the premium sort of fast swimmers in the world, like Emma McKeon, Sarah Sjostrom, Pernille Bloom, all these fantastic female 50 freestylers, they'll do the whole thing, usually in no breath. Some of them maybe take 1. But it's about working down to that 0 breaths eventually. Very, very hard to do. But once you get there, it eliminates any unnecessary movement of the head, and everything just stays moving forwards. So if you go online and look at those swimmers, Emma McKeon especially, the Olympic champion, and watch her, just doesn't breathe the whole way.
It's always down to those small technical things when it comes to the 50, so you'll start to notice as well as we come through these heats, you probably notice faster reaction times off the blocks as well, faster breakouts some of the swimmers, and like David said before, like your engine is coming from those legs at the back, so those that can keep those leg kick really strong right into the finish, and probably going to be the ones that are going to take the heat as well.
Absolutely, reaction time is so important. But important not to sacrifice reaction time for entry. Entry is more important on the dive, so. Well, here we go, heat number 3 of 7. Obviously about 28.3 or 28.5 is the fastest so far, I think it was, from the last heat. So these girls have got entry times of right around that, so they'll be looking to get down to 28 lows, 27 highs. Nice camera shot there. You've got a straight arm swimmer there. Hard to see, I think it's in lane, hard to see what lane that is. Lane number 7's got a straight arm stroke. This looks like a blanket finish, India.
Yeah, it's a pretty even playing field, but it looks like lane number 6, so we've got Maeve McLean from City O'Derry might be taking that heat, and she does in a 28.06. So again, very strong swim from Maeve there, so dropping nearly a full second on a 50-metre front crawl, which is very impressive swim for the swimmer. Yeah,
like it's following the usual trend here, swimmers dropping big times early doors, so they'll all be really happy. Like I said, all these swimmers going for it, they'll all be going for it. Try and make finals tonight. Obviously the 50-metre freestyle is an Olympic event. It's the only 50 in the Olympic program that is in the Olympics. Olympics obviously next year. But 53 is very, very great event to watch. It's so technical, so powerful. We're coming into the faster heats now, heat 4. With the 28.0 currently being the fastest, so these girls will be looking to get down into 27s, which I think we'll see a few 27s definitely.
Yeah, definitely a fastest qualifier here with the 28.14. That is Izzy McGrath from Sunday as well. Sunday as well are pretty fast, actually, sprint club as well, so hopefully she can break that 28-second barrier. But again, it's only 0.3 separating the entire field, so should be a fast race here.
Yeah, absolutely. Pool looks so long there on your screen. And we're off. Lovely entries there, especially from lane 4. Great entry, really clean. Here we go, heat number 4. Obviously important to keep the legs nice and tight. So you're not kicking really wide apart from the feet. You're kicking nice and togetherness and tight. This just India called it before the start. Really, really close. I have no idea here. This could be absolutely anybody, folks. Looks at number 3. Yeah, Sophie O'Neill. 28.2. A little bit slower than the last heat. They maybe just got caught up in racing each other, India. What do you think, instead of focusing on themselves?
I think so, yeah, and just from watching that race as well, it's just an interesting race in regards to the different styles that we had from the front crawlers there. We had some swimmers with a very high stroke rate and straight arm, like you said, but we also had the likes of lane 2 there with Lily McGuire, whose stroke was actually really slow and controlled. So yeah, I guess it was probably more focusing on who they're racing beside instead of on focusing on the times there.
Yeah, sometimes happens, that kind of thing. So here we go into the first of our seeded heats. Some names here. We've got Molly McAlorum, Commonwealth Games swimmer. Lane number 4, Mona McSharry. Obviously came a fantastic 8th place finish at the Olympic Games in Tokyo in the 100 metre breaststroke. She used to hold the Irish record as well in this event, so her and Danielle were trading it for a few years, so she'll be wanting that back. So watch her, a powerful athlete. Here we go. Look at those underwaters, India. That's it. And up she goes. You
can see the strength of Mona when she comes so when she dives in, she actually goes quite deep for a 50-metre front crawl, but the strength from her legs and that underwater work, you can already see she's got that full body length ahead, and she's got this lovely straight arm front crawl as well, so gaining as much distance per stroke as she can. She's looking really strong, but also quite controlled coming into this finish. And yeah, 25.56, really fast morning swim there from Mona McSharry.
25.5.
PB there for her as well.
Yeah, that's serious. The Irish record is a 25.1 if I'm not mistaken. I think it's a 25.15 from Danielle. So Mona setting the gauntlet down there. Nice straight arm, powerful stroke. Like I said before, just everything moving forwards, just fast underwater kick, and there was just no hanging about. Just kept everything tight. And 25.5 is a very quick swim early doors. Fantastic to see that. So on the heat number 6, Erin Reardon, our fastest entry time here, National Centre Dublin.
Yeah, like you said, David, there we had a lovely straight arm there from Mona McSharry. It's a difficult stroke to train, very straining on the shoulders, so you can kind of see the power there coming from her. She must have serious strength if she'd be able to maintain that lovely straight arm for the entire 50 metres. Yeah,
you have to have seriously strong shoulders to keep that going. You see more swimmers do it in the 50 than the 100. The 100 is a bit harder, but 25.5 is our current fastest qualifier, so these girls will be looking to try and get down around there. It could be tough. Here we go, heat number 6. Interesting to see different styles from Mona's there. That's a lovely stroke from Reardon. Just sort of separating herself, just keeping that head nice and still. Tight leg kick. Yeah, Reardon's going to be in here first comfortably. Booking her place in tonight's final. Let's keep an eye on the clock. Maybe a 25. Yeah, 25.5 as well. That's very quick as well. It's looking really tasty for tonight. So obviously we've got Hill to come in the next. So we had McSharry on a 25.5. Now Reardon on a 25.5. And Hill will be somewhere around there for the battle tonight. 25.1 is the Irish record, so they're not that far off it. Especially for a heat swim, first morning.
Yeah, 25.53. It's only 0.03 of a second separating Erin there with Mona's swim just previous before that. So yeah, interesting to see now what Danielle Hill comes up with But really, really strong swims. And Erin there, the grasp that she has in the water when she swims front crawl it's phenomenal.
It's very, very good. Her rate, you've noticed, was slightly probably slower than McSharry. So you'll notice Danielle here has a lower rate than most, but she catches some water, let me tell you. It's a real lesson in sprint swimming here. Really lovely stroke, holds the water so well. So she'll be right around 25.5. And these girls, that's going to be a fantastic race tonight. Really, really looking forward to that one. But it's the last of our 50s before we move into some longer events, 400 meter freestyles.
Yeah, Danielle Hill coming in here with a 25.30. It'll be interesting to see if she takes it out comfortably and hopefully can hit something similar to Mona and Erin now. We'll have a fast race this evening.
Yeah, I'd imagine she wouldn't. Danielle usually has big programs, so I'd imagine she'll not take too much out of herself here, but you never know. And we're off, last heat. Women's 50 meter freestyle. Notice the rates, just like I said. Danielle, sort of a bit of a straight arm, but look at that, just holding the hands up front. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look right at the front of the stroke, just holding that nice and pulling right through. Don't think she's breathed yet. There you go, first breath for Danielle. She's just sort of coasting in here, but lane 5 is pushing her the whole way to the end. Grace Davison, yeah, 25.9. She looked very, very controlled there. She'll be going to that race line 3rd place, I think, India, tonight. So all 3 of them will be next to each other.
Yeah, it'll be a fast swim now between Mona McSharry, Erin Reardon and Danielle Hill this evening, all hitting that 25-second barrier. Like David said, it looked quite comfortable, looked quite controlled there from Danielle. You can really see the difference between the kind of faster qualifiers and their head position in the water as well. It's a lot lower than some of the other swimmers where they're staying up quite high in the water. So you can see with Danielle, the water is pretty much just skimming over the top of her head, and she's got that really strong grasp on the water as well, just like the 2 girls previous, Erin and Mona.
Yeah, that's really, really good swimming there from all the girls. So moving in now to a longer event, the polar opposite almost than the 50 freestyle, the 400 freestyle, 8 lengths in this 50 meter pool format. Very, very tough event. A lot of these swimmers will have big training schedules, lots of long sort of distance sort of training sets, 400 repeats, 200 repeats, 800 repeats probably even. A lot of hundreds at pace, at 400 pace. The first sort of 100 meters is very sort of settling in, but then that middle 200 meters is the key part. That's settling into your strokes, settling into your rates. Obviously before the last 50 sort of we just go for it, isn't it, India? So
absolutely, we've got 5 heats this morning of the men's 400 meter freestyle, and obviously in that final heat number 5, we've got Daniel Whiffen coming in lane number 4 with a 3:46.62. He's actually swimming beside his brother Nathan Whiffen as well, another strong swimmer, still breaking that 4-minute barrier as well, 3:59. So it'd be nice for some of the younger swimmers in heat 1 and heat 2 to be able to come in and also watch Daniel swim, just see how he takes out his 400 meter technically in heats and both final swims. Yeah,
myself and India were commentating on his stellar performance in the 2022 Irish Short Course Championships, where he went that European record in the 800. And it was a joy to watch his long stroke, just loping stroke, just catching so much water, just such an engine. So it'll be interesting here on the long course format, because I always would have said he was a better long course swimmer than a short course swimmer, so I'm a bit scared how fast he might go. Could blow the roof off.
I'm sure he's cool and calm and collected, just like his own personality coming into this 400 free this morning anyway.
I don't know about that.
I'm sure he'll just pop in and enjoy his swim this morning in his heat swim.
Yeah, so he'll cruise this morning. There'll be no effort this morning. You'll see a real lazy 400 free, but it'll still be fast. Okay, heat 1. All these swimmers, like I said, will be going for it. Try and get back tonight. Keep an eye on their entry times, but 400 freestyle, here we go. Heat 1.
So like David said, so we've got heat number 1 coming in now. We have Matthew Rice in lane 0, 15-year-old from Banbridge. We've got Antonio Cascante from Cool Mine, the 16-year-old. We've got Gannon Robertson from Swim Belfast in lane number 2. Kieran Watterson in lane number 3 from Galway. We've got Kyle Lawden from Trojan in lane number 4. Dylan Bradley of Drogheda in lane number 5. Liam O'Connor from Kingdom in lane 6. Phelim Hanley in lane number 7 from Blackrock, Tom O'Rourke of Athlone in lane number 8, and Kyle Kelly of Sligo in lane number 9.
Yeah, we got Gannon Robertson from Belfast, just taking it out there. He's sort of taking control of this race. So interesting tactics. You're going to see a lot of this in the heat swims. You're going to see some swimmers take it out like this, very sort of faster than the rest of the field, or appearing to be faster than the rest of the field. And it's whether or not they can hang on. Obviously, myself and India don't know each individual swimmer and their tactics, so we just kind of have to eyeball it and sort of see what's happening. But Robertson out here in a 60.4, so he's coming in here on a 4:38, so he's well under his PB time, but it's whether or not he can hold it. But you got to settle in now. This middle 200, settle into your stroke. You can't have 150 faster than the other, one big separation. So you need to settle into that rhythm. So it'll be interesting to see how this one pans out.
Yeah, again, like you said, David, there's lots of different tactics you can take out of 400. Some swimmers prefer taking out the first 200 nice and fast and then trying to hold on for the second 200 metres, and other swimmers like to either build or maintain that pace throughout the entire 400. So we can see there from lane number 2, we've got a fast outbreak from this first 200 metres. Let's see if he can maintain it. I don't know about yourself, David. I didn't swim many 400 freestyles myself, but I was definitely more of find my pace, find my rhythm, and then try and maintain it throughout the 400 and then sprint for the final 100.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I swam 400 when I was a kid, but then as I got older, I used to drop down the distances. So at my end of my career, I was just at the 50 and the 100. But I used to swim at this event at these guys' age. You see Robertson's kind of dropped off, and lanes number 9 and 7 coming into the picture. That's Kyle Kelly and Phelim Hanley. So it's very interesting. They're sort of going to take control of this race. Top of the pool, top of your screen here now. The outside burner there, right by the wall. So very interesting. You'll see lane number 9 there. That's Kyle Kelly from Sligo, the 16-year-old. He'll be breathing at the field here on this way down the pool. But because he's breathing to his right on the way back up the pool, he'll not be able to see a thing. So some swimmers see that as an advantage, some don't. Some like to kind of see what's going on, but it is Hanley and Kelly taking control of this one. Gannon Robertson, like I said, going out very quickly, struggling at the back end. But hey, I love someone who goes for it. But race, like I said, India, top of your screen here.
So it's great to see an outside lane take the lead as well, because some people think there's a disadvantage going in the outside lane, but it's not. As soon as you have a lane, you have a chance. So it's nice to see them really taking it out strong here. We're going to be turning onto the final 100 metres, so it'll be interesting to see if they can pick up that pace. Again, strong turn. You're going to notice a difference, obviously, from the women's 50-metre front crawl. That leg kick behind, so we had a really strong leg kick for the 50 front crawl, and we've kind of got this 4B kick, I guess, for the 400 metre front crawl, but they should really start to pick that leg kick up now for the final 75 metres.
Yeah, out of your shot now, you can't see them, but Hanley taking complete control. He was through on a 3:20, and his best coming into this is a 4:38, so he's only got to come back in a 1:18 to get a PB, so big PB incoming here for him. And at this point of the race now, it's just go for it. Forget tactics, forget all that. Just absolutely go for it. So the field really spread out, but it is Hanley taking control, closely followed in lane number 9. And the middle of the pool here, lane number 4 as well, coming into the race right at the end. That's Loudon, Trojan.
Yeah, like
these guys coming in, leg kick India.
Yeah, like you said, David, it is just about giving it whatever you have on this last kind of 50 metres. Sure, it's probably already hurting already if they've done 350, so whatever energy they have left, you'll see them putting it into this last 50 metres. But again, strong finish there. We have Phelim Hanley of Blackrock, so it's entry time of 4:38.43 and breaking that by a significant 12 seconds, 4:26.35. I'm sure I'll be very happy with that swim.
Lovely Hanley, you absolute psycho. Day 1. No prisoners, 12-second PB. Goodness gracious me. That was absolutely fantastic. And even Kel Loudon in lane 2, who came second there, excuse me. Big PB for him as well. So lots of PBs coming in there. Great to see, early doors.
Great experience for the young swimmers as well. He's only 14 years of age, so even to win your first heat, first event of an Irish Open Championships, it's a really big confidence boost, especially for the next 5 days to come. Absolutely,
that could be his first Irish Open as well. So great for him. That was a really well swum race at such a young age. So we're in the heat 2 now, faster entries again. These guys again looking to see if they can sort of flirt with the final. A and B finals. They'll want to be in the mix there, so they got to go for it. But they'll all be. It's a fun way to start the meet. 400 freestyle wouldn't be the way I'd want to start one. But these guys are all very prepared. You can see lane 1 there, Newman in the zone. Nobody's distracting him. So these swimmers all go through different pre-race routines. I never had a specific one when I swam, but a lot of swimmers do sort of have their own sort of routines. They'll do same again, every single race. Make sure that they're just setting themselves up for the best possible way. But here we go, heat 2 of 5, this men's 400 meter freestyle.
Yeah, like you said, Dave, it's a little bit of superstition, isn't it, when it comes to racing? Sometimes some people like to do the exact same thing before every single race. So you can see the different personalities there leading up to the block. Some people like to jump around, some people like to stand dead still. So, but we've got a nice strong start there from our middle lane swimmer. But just running down through the swimmers here, we've got Luca Power in lane 0 of Splash World. We've got Alexander Newman of Bangor in lane number 1. We've got Mark Gill of Trojan in lane number 2. Andrew Mullen of Templeogue in lane number 3. Sergei Riznichenko from Splash World in lane number 4. Barry McClements in lane 5 from Ards. We've got Ian Middleton of Glenalbin in lane number 6. Tristan Egan of Aer Lingus in 7. Eamon Smith of Longford in 8. And Cormac Farron of Bangor in lane 9.
Yeah, so obviously Barry McClements there, who's chilling at the back. He was that Commonwealth Games medalist, Northern Ireland's first ever Commonwealth Games medalist in the pool from Birmingham last year. Seems like only yesterday, but it's last summer. But here we go. And the first 100 is Riznichenko out in 61.1. So obviously his entry time, if you can sort of kind of work it out, the maths, is a 4:26. So your first 100 is always a lot faster. Your middle 200 should be kind of a little bit slower. And then your last 100 should be sort of your second fastest 100 of the whole 400. So obviously the first 100 is going to be faster because of the dive. But interesting, yeah, Riznichenko taking the lead here. So not as much of a lead as we saw in the previous heat.
No, but he's looking quite strong and controlled there. So kind of just breathing every 2. Nice 4B kick there coming from the back. But we also have lane number 7 really catching up in here. So Tristan Egan turning just about half a second behind. So, but 2 lads looking strong, looking comfortable. So if they can kind of maintain this for, like you said, David, that middle 200, it'll really be down to the last 100 then.
Yeah, and all these boys will be so used to doing this kind of thing in training, but when you come to a race, it's just extremely difficult to emulate that feeling you get on a race, because it's not only the actual swim that is different to training. You're obviously in your own lane. You're obviously in a racing suit. You know, the whole day is different to any training session you do. You know, you get up, you're in a different place. For most of these swimmers that aren't from Dublin, they'll be having a different breakfast to what they usually have. They'll be in a different environment, the nerves. So it's extremely hard to emulate a race day. You know, and it's only with experience and experience and experience that you can kind of lock in that sort of feeling of race day.
Yeah, exactly, David. So like everything will be different for a lot of these swimmers. So new pool, new changing rooms, new atmosphere. Like the NAC is quite a large pool, so even walking out into it, especially for young swimmers, it might be a little bit intimidating. And right down to your hydration and your nutrition on the day of competition, all these things are going to affect your swim. So hopefully all these lads are starting to clock into that, especially if they are young swimmers. They're starting to notice what they need to do when it comes into competition day. But again, that can change throughout the 5 days as well. So maybe if they don't get it right on the first day, they'll start to notice maybe what they need to change over day 2, day 3, day 4. So it's nice to kind of get this first swim in for them, and hopefully it will give them a bit of confidence then for the next 5 days.
Yeah, of course. So just here we go. Really comfortable, lane number 7. Tristan Egan kind of took control of this race early doors. Hasn't looked back since. So you can see the splits there as well. 34.1 for him. So he's on a 3:17. Obviously his best is a 4:29, excuse me. So he'll be under. He should be well under that. He'll be in the 4:25, 4:26 range, hopefully.
He's been quite consistent with the splits though, so it's kind of hitting around a 105, 106 per 100. So it'll be interesting to see if he can kick down with those legs on this last 100 and bring it back down to around a 104, and definitely should be breaking that PB.
Yeah, we have Mullen and Riznichenko. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Sergey. Coming in strong at the end here. I like the look of lane 4 a lot. Riznichenko, just sort of those legs are coming in. And your shot, cameraman go left, cameraman, let's see. So yeah, we're looking good at the front of the race here, but it looks like Egan just kind of just taking control Doesn't have much in the way of his legs going, but he's going to coast through here. Yeah, we're coming in. This should be a PB. Yeah, 4:25. Did I call it? I did. 4:25.5. Lovely swim from Tristan Egan of Aer Lingus. I think ALSC is Aer Lingus. And then Mullen and Vinchenko came back really nice also to get right around sort of their PB. So happy enough. First swim of a big 5-day meet. To get in and around your PB is not bad, India, is it?
Yeah, no, it was a great swim there from Tristan Egan. Like, we have Andrew Bree down on deck there doing the commentating, and he said he must know that he's got a final position this evening because he was looking really controlled, really comfortable kind of coming into that last 100. So obviously looking to save some energy for a 400 metre free this evening as well. So hopefully we'll have those qualifying times or those qualifiers come up after the event. So hopefully he has made that final swim for himself.
Absolutely. It's all about maintaining, kind of managing sort of your energy levels at a 5-day meet, you know, especially for some swimmers that have got a big program. You know, I can't really compare. I only used to do 1 or 2 events per competition, so I didn't have to really worry about that. But some of the swimmers, especially a lot of the medley swimmers and distance swimmers, they'll dip their toe in, especially like a 200 medley guy, will dip his toe into maybe a 4 medley or a 2 fly or a 2 free. So, you know, 400 freestylers generally stick to their own, don't they, India? Just kind of 400 free, 200 free, maybe 1500 free.
Absolutely. I was similar to yourself, David, so kind of mainly focusing on more sprint events. So I used to like to throw in a different event at the start just to see what kind of form I was on. So it would probably still be a short event. It would probably be a different 50 metre or 100 metres, so probably a breaststroke or a backstroke. But yeah, I'd say these lads here, they're kind of going to stick to their speciality and going for that long distance because their programs will be quite long this weekend.
Yep, of course. So we are, heat 3. These guys now are all looking to get under that 420 mark. You know, they're all around the 420, sort of 422 the fastest qualifier. So sub 420 will be a goal for most of these guys here.
Yeah, so we're going to be interested to see what kind of tactics we're going to be taking out in heat number 3. So whether they're going to take it out fast in this first 200 or whether they're going to maintain a pace. But like David said, we've kind of got a 422 to 426 within this heat. So we'll be looking for around 104s consistently throughout if they want to either equal or just break that PB. But again, just running down through the swimmers that we have in heat number 3. So we've got Dara Rusk of Athlone in lane 0, Ben Wilson of Ards in lane 1, Cian Foley of New Ross in lane 2, Michael O'Driscoll of Sundays Well in lane 3, Dara Horgan of Limerick in lane 4, Killian Langton from Sligo in lane 5, Paddy Cudahy of Kilkenny in lane 6, Michael McCann of Ards in lane 7, Daniel Harvey of Ards again in lane number 8, and Alex Barrett of Blackrock in lane number 9.
Yeah, and just like before, kind of the top of the pool, top of your screen. Some great shots there. The turns kind of pulling away a wee bit. Must be something in those lanes at the top of the pool.
Similar split to our second heat there, so a lot of people turning around that 60-point mark, so it'll be interesting to see are they going to maintain that or maybe again take this middle 200 a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more controlled. Yeah.
So yeah, those top lanes there looking nice, sort of in a wee group, and then you've got these middle 2, lane 3 and 4, excuse me. Kind of about these distance events, you sort of almost once you eyeball someone and you get into a wee rhythm with them, it can kind of be quite nice just to sort of sit on them and sort of, especially if you know what sort of their time is and sort of what way you're swimming, you know, you're able to kind of just swim off other people. It makes it a wee bit easier for some.
Absolutely. As we go through these later heats, obviously these swimmers have a little bit more experience than previous swimmers, so they'll probably know who their main competitors are when it comes into these heats. So like I said, David, it'll be interesting to see if they kind of stick more to the lane rope and try and swim off the swimmer beside them and then take out their own tactics in that last 100 metres.
Yeah, we got Dara Horgan through in a 207, so that's, you know, should be, he's got to come home in about a 212 to get under that 420 mark. So, you know, a lot of these distance swimmers will be, you know, really looking to not almost negative split this race, you know, come home stronger than they went out, finish stronger than they in the first 200. So see the legs kind of building up there for Horgan. But I kind of like lane 3 stroke. Let me check who that is. Who's in lane 3? Michael O'Driscoll, Sundays Well. So we've got that loping kind of stroke.
Yeah,
watch out for him.
Just going to say we have very different strokes here. So if you compare lane 3 maybe to lane 7, so we've got quite a high stroke rate there from lane number 3, a lot more controlled from lane number 7. Both of them have a strong leg kick. But again, it's interesting to see that you can have two varying strokes when it comes to a 400 metre free and still be sitting around similar times.
Yeah, well, what we're seeing here, folks, is just above the water, just their arms above the water. But under the water, it's all the same for the top swimmers. They'll pull under the water in exactly the same way. They'll just get there in different ways. But here we go, Darragh Horgan in a 3:15. So yeah, he should be coming home, hopefully, if he can bring it back. He was 33.8 there, so he needs to be faster than that to be getting under that 4:20 mark. But I know for sure his coach at Limerick will be making sure he needs to bring in those legs a little bit more, bring up that rate slightly more. But not keeping that stroke really long. When swimmers get tired, it's so easy, isn't it, India, just to shorten your stroke.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Daniel Harvey there has a little bit of a disadvantage coming into this last second 50 because he was breathing to the wrong side to see that main swimmer there coming in lane 4. But now that he is turning to the right side to see his main competitor, it really looks like he's about to kick down and come in strong for this final 50 metres. And I think he might be taking this heat. Look at that leg kick, actually. Where did that come from?
Yeah, Daniel Harvey of Ards coming into your picture now. Coached by Curtis Coulter, ex-international freestyler. He knows what he's doing, coaching freestylers, and Harvey looks fantastic. Coming in here, just 4:25 is his best. Get under 4:20, kid. Go on! Yeah. 4:19.8, good lad. He's loving it. Good man. Is there anything better than seeing a smile on a swimmer's face? Good lad. I think he swam that perfectly. I wasn't really paying too much attention to him. And he just came back really strong.
Yeah, like we were saying, he was looking really strong, really comfortable in the kind of main part of that event, so the first 300 metres. And then, like you said, that last 100 metres, he really did just decide to kick down. And I know he loved it. I think you loved it too. Great reaction from you there. Yeah. Breaking 4:20.
4:20, that's... I know when I swam 400 free, when I got on a 4:20, it was a big deal. So we're coming in now to heat number 4. Finn McGeever, the Tokyo 2020 Olympian, is part of that 4x200 men's freestyle relay that was obviously swam there. He had a great swim at the champs here in 2021. Obviously it was postponed 1 year because of COVID. You know, he swam the swim of his life to make it onto that team. So interesting to see the 400 is a different animal to the 200. So, and again, Jack Fleming, a great swimmer from Lisburn, trains out in Loughborough, I think still. He used to, don't know if he still does. I think he does. So, yeah, obviously before Whiffen, the two Whiffen brothers in the next heat, that'll be more than likely the 1 and 2 seeds. So, just sort of you'll see a big drop in the times now, right down to that sort of around that 4-minute mark. McGeever obviously with a 3:57 best, but I don't think we'll see that this morning.
Yeah, we definitely have a clear leader here with Finn McGeever with the 3:57.58. But like you said, it's pretty much a good drop on all times in the next 10 swimmers. So kind of going to be looking around 4 minutes up to the 4:10 mark in this heat.
Yeah, it's always fascinating to see the different tactics. Even like some swimmers choosing to stand up before they grip the block, before they take your marks. And they're off in heat number 4.
All right, so heat number 4, we have our swimmers. In lane number 0, we've got Donica McCarthy of New Ross. In lane 1, we've got Sean Bugler of Sundayswell. Lane 2, Cormac Rinn of Trident. Lane 3, Dennis O'Brien of Limerick. We've got lane 4, Finn McGeever, again Limerick, fastest qualifier at 3:57.58. In lane 5, we have Jack Fleming of Lisburn City. Lane 6, Ben Moran of Aer Lingus. Lane 7, Daniel Edgar of Lisburn City. In lane 8, we've got Aidan Cook from Loughborough, and in lane 9, we've got Christian Sturdinaki from New Ross.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I thought McGeever would just chill this one. Looks like he is. And it's Fleming. I love Fleming's stroke. I really do. It's so long. Really, really controlled. Look how low he keeps his head there, folks. Really nice. So he's got a lovely little tempo going on there. 57.7, sub 60. First 100. He's in an entry time of 4:04, so I know his goal on a 4:04 entry will be sub 4 for this meet. You know, that's a real barrier. Like in all swimming events, there are certain time barriers, big time barriers. The 100 free, it's sub 50. And the 200 free, it's sub 150. The 400 free, it's sub 4 minutes. All right, so there's these barriers that the swimmers want to break, and sometimes they can sort of get in your head. But that'll be what he'll be after. But he's looking really nice here early doors.
Yeah, so turning that first for 100 on that 57, and then his next 50 coming in at 30.93. So do you think he'll be going for that sub 4 minutes in this heat swim, or do you think he'll leave it for the final swim?
I think he might kind of leave it, but he was through there in a 127 to the 150. So we'll get a better idea here at the 200 mark, because obviously you got to have 2 sub 2 minutes back to back to do it. Yeah, he's going to come through in about a 159-ish. Yeah, so he won't do it this morning. I doubt he'd do it this morning. But he's setting himself up nicely, sort of repping 31 flats. So you need to be repping 30 lows, 29 highs to be sort of have that. But he's separated himself a bit. And he looks like the premium swimmer here, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really hasn't faltered with his stroke rate or his kick, to be honest, coming into this third 100. To be honest, it actually looks like he's really starting to pick up this second half of the 400 metres. So it'll be interesting to see what his next 50 split is. Still looking really strong, controlled with that breathing. Like you said, nice low head position and turning on a 31.42. So probably not going to break that 4 minute barrier this morning, but he's looking really strong for a final swim this evening.
Yeah, 31.4 is just dropping a wee bit on that, but tonight you'll have more of a race. So, you'll be... When you swim in the finals, it's very, very different. There's more atmosphere. It's always a bit darker. It's just definitely more tension. It always brings out the best in swimmers. We're coming up to 300 metres here.
Yeah, we've got Finn McGeever just catching a little bit of distance, a little bit of ground here in lane number 4. He definitely took out that first kind of 200 metres very slow, very controlled and relaxed. So he's clearly saving some energy for this evening swim. But looking just to show that he can still dominate the field and kind of just pulling up that little bit of distance on this last 100 metres.
Yeah, McGeever actually repping about a second faster per 50 there than Fleming on the last 2 50s. So Fleming keeping that nice long stroke, but the rate is low. And then McGeever's coming through nicely, showing that experience too, Having swam the Olympic Games, you don't get any bigger than that. So look at that underwater there from McGeever, that's fantastic. Wow, lovely. McGeever will take this one, he'll come through nicely, he's sort of timed it well. But Fleming also safely through. And these swimmers will learn things for tonight. They'll learn things, They'll both, even before they finish this race, they'll know, I need to work on this for tonight. I need to not do this. I need to do this. So it is going to be McGeever coming through. It's going to be a 4:04 maybe-ish. Yeah, 4:40. Fleming just outside that. And a 4:50. So Fleming's kind of, like I said before, the 2 different styles. Fleming kind of took it out a bit harder. McGeever took it out easy. But they pretty much went exactly the same time. Second difference splitting them, so look at that back 50, McGeever 28.8, Fleming 30.8, so different ways to swim it.
Absolutely, still a very good swim there from Jack Fleming, so he's only just under a second above his PB coming into this final swim this evening, so looks like he did take that nice slow and controlled kind of approach for the start of that first of that 400, so he should have an interesting swim this evening. But we are moving on to heat number 5, where we do have the 2 Whiffen brothers, so be interesting to see what their tactics are now for this heat swim.
Yeah, the famous Whiffen twins, the most famous twins in the world. They're coming in here. Obviously Daniel, slightly faster swimmer, 3:46. He had that medal, obviously, at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham in this event. Obviously a silver in, I think it was a silver, if I'm not mistaken, in the 1500. And it was a bronze in the 400, I think. Wasn't that long ago, I'm getting old, can't remember. But yeah, I think Daniel will just chill this. He'll just take this extremely easy, ready for tonight. So yeah, you may be looking at just under 4 minutes, probably somewhere in the 3:56-7 range is what he'll go. And Nathan will want to hang with him.
It's great when you can say you can take a 400 chilled and still break that 4 minute mark, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah, that's what you get when you get to that level. You're just fantastic. So yeah, we're going to see really a real lesson in freestyle swimming here. So you'll know straight away. He looks rate's kinda high. No, it's not really actually. It's low.
Like you were saying before there, David, though, it is all about kind of learning as you go through these swims as well. So I'd say some swimmers here are going to be a little bit nervous, maybe racing beside these two Whiffen brothers. They know they're going to dominate this race. But again, it's not about concentrating on who's in your heat. It's kind of just concentrating on what you can improve on throughout this 400 metres. But again, just running through those swimmers that we have here. Heat number 5, in lane 0, we've got Angus Cook of Limerick. In lane 1, we've got Killian O'Loughlin Brophy from Cool Mines. In lane 2, we've got Ronan Fahy of Trojan. Lane 3, Adam Colgan of Lisburn City. In lane 4, Daniel Whiffen, fastest qualifier, 3:46.62. Beside him, his brother Nathan Whiffen, 3:59.14, both from Larne. In lane number 6, Ben David of UCD. 7, we've got Jean Smith of Bangor. 8, Emma Cousins of New Ross. And 9, Robert Mullen of Templeogue.
Yeah, so sort of heading out ahead here. Whiffen, just nice sort of long, controlled stroke. Taking it out, Colgan sitting with him, the swimmer from Lisburn. All right, but all these guys are just going to be coasting through to the final. Whiffen, yeah, 3 and a 125. Grabbing 29.5s. I think he'll be around 3:56, something like that. But you know, I know Daniel Whiffen will be looking to cement it's one of the fastest times in the world tonight in this event. So his brother Nathan's sitting with him too. So they swim very similar, don't they? So coming into the 200 metre mark here.
So Daniel Whiffen turning here on a 1:54.87. Really strong start for this 200 metres. Again, looking slow and controlled. I've always loved his breathing technique, to be honest, Daniel. He pretty much looks like he's staying so low to the water. He's pretty much breathing into his armpit. That's why his resistance is so low. He can really keep that stroke rate going and keep that grasp into the water as well.
You know, excuse me, folks, I may have been talking rubbish. I think he could be kind of going for it here. He's sort of, the legs are going. It's depending on what his split is here. Yeah, 29.1. He's not hanging about. He could be going for it here. I assumed he kind of wouldn't be, but look at that rate. No, he is. He's not leaving anything here. Whether or not he's going full blast, but he's not going full easy. Maybe some swimmers, maybe, I haven't spoken to him yet, some swimmers might go for it this morning.
Sure, it could just be an indicator of what form he's on for this weekend as well. You never know.
Could be. Keep an eye on the meet record, folks. The meet record is a 3:51.5 from Tom Derbyshire. That was set back in 2018, so he'll be under that. Yeah, he's going to be down around here, actually. Look at the field separated now. And all swimmers swimming in their own race now. Daniel in a class of his own. Nathan trying to hang on. But here we go. Whiffen coming in strong, last 50. Those legs now will begin to pick up.
We've definitely got a great atmosphere here in the NAC. We've got a lot of coaches here screaming for their swimmers, but we've got that clear leader of Daniel Whiffen. Really is kicking down here in this last 50 metres, so could actually, definitely going for it, or could just be an indicator of what form he's on for this weekend.
Yeah, he's coming in home really strongly here. His best is obviously a 3:46.6. He's going to be outside that, but he looked like he was going for it a bit there. It's going to be, could be a meet record, folks, in the heats. 3:51.17. It is a championship meet record for Whiffen. So he did kind of put the gauntlet down there a wee bit. Nathan coming in 3:58. That's a PB for him. Great swim. So the two of them, the two Whiffen twins, like we thought, would be the two fastest qualifiers for this final tonight. Colgan in a 4:10 coming home, hanging on for that third position in the heat. So hard to know what kind of intensity that was for the both of them. But 3:51 is a world-class time, make no mistake about it. It wasn't long ago that was an Irish record by some margin, so just shows you he's 5 seconds over his own record. And only a few years ago, I think the Irish record was a 3:55. So that event is moving on quickly.
We've got smiles from the two of them anyway, so smile from Nathan there, so breaking his own PB. Must be nice to be able to swim beside your brother and actually congratulate him after the race and stuff. So yeah, it's really nice to see the kind of competition, a friendly competition between the two of them.
Absolutely, so that concludes the men's 400 metre freestyle. Obviously we'll see them back tonight, along with McGeever. And I forgot who was the last swimmer in that heat.
Jack Fleming.
Jack Fleming. Thank you, India. We'll see all them coming back for tonight, but it will be Daniel Whiffen will be the star and the one to watch. He'll be in a field of his own. there tonight. But moving on to the women's 400-meter freestyle, so same applies, same kind of tactics apply, same different things these swimmers will be looking to do. Holding water, making sure they're not slipping, they're just settling to a nice rhythm. We've got a swimmer at the bottom of the pool there.
Yeah, we've got 5 heats in this event number 4, the women's 400-meter freestyle. So heat number 1 pretty much got a full pool, and we've got our Nicole Turner from the NAC swimming in lane number 8. So it'll be interesting to see now what form Nicole is on for this weekend's meet.
A swimmer there at top left of your screen, I don't know who it is, just laying prone after the 400 free. That's what I can do to you. Take it out of you. I think he's okay though. Wrecked. 8 lengths of that is tough going. Such stress on the body. But here we go. Heat 1. Women's 400 free. Here we go. We've got, I'll run through the heats here, or the lanes, sorry. In lane number 1, we have Amy Sheridan of the NAC. Lane number 2, Georgina Walker of Banbridge, the 14-year-old. In lane 3, the 15-year-old, also from Banbridge, Mia Mulholland. Aoife Fearick is in lane 4 from Limerick. Grace Quinn, the 15-year-old from Trident. The Temple Oak swimmer is in lane 6, Amelia Ryan. Lane number 7, Aoife Maroney from Dolphin. And Nicole Turner from the NAC, the power swimmer, in lane 8.
Yeah, so starting off this 400 free, it looks like all the girls here are settling into their rhythm nice and quick. Got an interesting stroke there from Aoife Fearick of Limerick. She's got 1 bent arm and 1 straight arm recovery, breathing every 2. But we've already got kind of our clear leader there in lane number 5. We've got Grace Quinn of Trident taking out nice and strong. So again, we'll see different tactics in this first heat of the 400 free. We'll see some people taking it a little bit faster in the first 200, and we'll see some people trying to maintain a pace throughout this 400. So still another 300 metres to go, but we're turning solidly on a 107.6. So it looks like if they can maintain that pace throughout this next 400, we'll have some decent PBs coming up.
Absolutely. And in lane number 8, we have Nicole Turner, the para athlete. So in this event, she's already achieved the qualification standard in this event at a 5:54. The qualification standard is 5:59, so she's already gone under the time she needs for her respective para summer meet. So keep an eye out for her up in lane number 8. But it looks like a very blanket sort of swim here from everybody else. Like I say, these swimmers will be the same boat as the males were in the first heat. You know, they've got to go for it if they want to have a chance tonight. You know, they can't be holding much back. But very settling into their strokes here. Nice, long, looping strokes from them all.
Yeah, you can definitely see a lot more kind of swimming off each other, I guess, in this heat. We've got a lot of swimmers kind of sticking to the lane ropes there, really focusing on the competition of the person beside them. Pretty much even playing field, like I said there, David. So we're going to come into this first 200 metres. This is where we're going to see who is holding what kind of tactics. So whether they've taken the first 200 out fast, or whether they're going to maintain that pace. But first strong start, 2:23.36 there from lane number 3. So if she can maintain that pace, she'll definitely be on for a PB.
Yeah, they shouldn't be far off coming down the 450 range. That'll be what they'll probably be going for. We've got a lot of 354s kind of best times for these girls. So all these girls will have their own personal aspirations, whether it's time, whether it's beat this person, whether it's just get in and race and just see what happens. They'll all have their own kind of goals for this first event and this first heat as opposed to a final. So obviously us watching here, we don't know what they're thinking, what they're doing, but we can only sort of react to what we see. But it's Mia Mulholland of Banbridge just kind of taking slight control of this race. See if the other girls react at all. Her teammate there, Georgina Walker, kind of sitting on her, so she'll know when you race next to a swimmer that you train with, you know exactly how they swim, when they go, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. That's why Ryan Lochte and Michael Phelps, 2 of the greatest swimmers of all time, you know, coming up to big competitions when they were on training camps before the Olympics or World Championships, they never trained together because the 2 of them didn't want to give something away to the other, you know, whether it's tactics. So, you know, obviously these girls aren't at that level yet, but similar kind of things they'll know exactly. But like I said, Georgina Walker catching up a bit here now.
Yeah, so we're coming into this final 75 metres for majority of the playing field here. We've got a lovely long stroke there from Mia Mulholland of Banbridge, so really nice, long, strong, controlled stroke, but a strong kick behind her as well. But like you said, David, I think her teammate knows exactly what her tactic is, because she was half a body length ahead, but we've already got Georgina Walker of lane number 2 passing her out onto this final 50, so turning on a 4:15.83. It's really kicking down now, so I think she'll be taking this first heat.
Yeah, 4:54 for Walker is her best, so she'll be looking to get that. But the 2 Banbridge girls, coached by Davy Wilson, taking control of this first heat. Entry times of both of them on 4:54, so should be looking to be right around there. Maybe slightly. They'll be in there. Coming in very, very nice.
We have Nicole Turner kind of coming into her last 75. She just turned on a 4:24 there for that 300 metre mark, so could actually definitely be in for a PB there for Nicole as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, PBs from the 2 Banbridge girls. If you can muster a smile after a 400 free, you know you've done well, because it's such a grueling event. But the 4:51s, 4:52s for them too. Aoife Ferrick coming in 3rd position there, the Limerick swimmer, the 16-year-old. But just like India said, we've got Nicole Turner coming down the pool now, just out of your shot. She's finishing up, the para athlete.
She's turning on a 5:11, so hopefully she can get a little bit of a kick behind her now, finishing this last 50 metres, but she's been looking strong for this entire 400. Her stroke hasn't faltered at all.
No, so just like I mentioned at the start, she's already achieved the qualification standard for the World Championships, but can't beat always getting a bit faster, but her PB's a 5:56 on this one, so coming in nice. Keep that stroke long, Nicole, keep it on. Obviously the timer stops, so we have no clue, so let's just see what we got, Nicole. 5:56, 5. Right, that's a 0.3 PB. Hey, you take it. 0.3 PB over 400 metres, you take it though.
Yeah, when you get to Nicole's level, you take a PB anyway, so even over 400 metres, I know you've just done 400 metres and you're getting 0.3, but 0.3 is still a PB, so good job, Nicole, on your 400 this morning.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's the first heat completed. On to heat number 2 now. So these swimmers now, a lot of these swimmers now will be looking to go sub 450. You know, breaking down little barriers, their own personal barriers. You know, but it's tough starting off the meet with a 400 free. So, obviously post this event, folks, we have the men's 100 metre breaststroke coming up, as well as the women's, I assume.
Women's fly.
Women's 100 fly, so they're sort of changing it up. So men's 100 breast, obviously, will have Olympian Dara Green, and then premium breaststrokers Corby and Cook as well, which will be really, really great. And then the women's 100 fly, India, that was your event.
Women's 100 fly, yeah, we'll be looking forward to it. Who have we got coming in? We've got Molly Main coming into the women's 100 fly, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of form she's coming into this Irish Open Championships. But coming back to the pool now, we have heat number 2 starting for the women's 400 metre freestyle. We've got a full pool here, so going in for our start. So just running down through those names again. So in heat number 2, lane 0, we've got Kate Lee of Cool Mine. In lane 1, we've got Alice Ledgerwood of Trojan. In lane 2, we've got Abby Cunningham of Kilkenny. Lane 3, Eva Walsh of Temple Oak. Lane 4, Ava Nolan of Staney Sharks. Lane 5, Lily Markey of St. Felix. Lane 6, Ava Byrne of Staney Sharks. Lane 7, Isabella Kavanagh of Aer Lingus. Lane 8, her teammate, we've got Cueva Doyle, also of Aer Lingus. And then again, lane 9, Lauren McGrath of Limerick.
Yeah, so again, same story, folks. I know we probably sound like a broken record, but setting into that tempo, that's all it is on a 400 freestyle.
Looks like lane 8 is really going out for it.
Lane 8, we've got, that's a bit of me, that. Cueva Doyle, right out there, going for it, early doors. So, interesting in that heat, we had, I think it was the second heat of the men's. How the Swim Belfast swimmer went for it and sort of died off, but you learn from that. You learn from the bad swims more than you learn from the good ones. So, you know, every single swim these swimmers do, they'll learn from it, especially on a 400 free, because it is so tactical. But Cueva Doyle, I don't know, 65.0.
Yeah, strong start there from Cueva Doyle of Aer Lingus. So under the coach Alan Turner there in Aer Lingus, we've always had some decent distance swimmers coming in from Aer Lingus, haven't we, David? In the past, we had the likes of Andy Megan and so on. So
yes,
Alan Turner
Andy
definitely.
Megan. Conor Turner was another one back in the day. A lot of you watch him might not remember, but he was when I was a junior, he was the best distance swimmer from Aer Lingus, and then obviously Andy Megan was the Irish record holder for I don't know how long in those distance events. So yeah, they know what they're doing up there with the distance events. So here we go, Kiva Doyle still taking charge, but Eva Walsh sitting really, really nicely from the Temple Oak swimmer. Brian Sweeney will no doubt have put her through her paces coming up to this, and especially in the warm-up. What's interesting in the warm-up, for these swimmers, it's all about just setting the rhythm, because obviously, whether it's 650s or 450s, something like that, and they'll just get times from coaches and rates, more importantly rates. Don't worry about the time, set the tempo right and let the rest take care of itself. So here we go into the halfway point, 2:17.8 for Kiva Doyle, hanging on really, really nicely, repping faster than the rest of the field, 36.8 there, Eva Walsh, 37.1.
Yeah, if she's turning on a 2:17.8 there for her first 200 metres, she'll definitely be looking at a PB. She has a qualifying time of 4:52.97, so I think we'll be looking for a very fast swim here from the Aer Lingus swimmer.
Yeah, absolutely. All these swimmers will be looking for finals tonight, so they can't leave anything in the pool at all. But you get your own personal wee battles. Lanes 4 and 5 are kind of eyeballing each other. 6 and 7, you've got lane 8, the leader, Doyle, out on her own. And obviously lanes 2 and 3 sort of, Cunningham and Walsh kind of together. So it's all develops in its own wee ways in this event.
It's difficult for the earlier heats because they're obviously battling in this heat swim to make that final as well. And you kind of don't really take into consideration how much swimming, particularly distance swimmers, have to do from start of the day to the end of the day. So they'll have their warm-up where they're probably covering about 2.5 kilometres, and they've got their main swim where they probably do have to battle in this 400 metres. Then they'll be doing cool downs. They might have other races as well. Then they'll be coming back in for the similar session now this evening. So the amount of metres that you actually clock up when you are a distance swimmer is quite taxing on the body. So they really do have to push it in this 400 metres in the earlier heats to try and make that final swim.
Definitely, just like India said, we're only watching here the live racing, the live action, but you're not seeing all the metres they're doing in warm-up and swim down. Like India said, some of these distance swimmers like to do nice long warm-ups. It takes the body a long time to warm up. So taxing over 5 days. You swim more meters sometimes than you would do in regular training. So you got to be so careful managing the body, nutrition, hydration, stretching, the whole 9 yards. So here we go. She's held on. Kiva Doyle, 4:09 at the 3:50 mark. Her best is a 4:52. She's going to be under that comfortably, I think. Yeah, she's just trying to bring in the legs as best you can. It's so important to bring in the legs as best you can on this last part of this 400 freestyle, but it is going to be Kiva Doyle of Aer Lingus. Alan Turner delighted in the stands with that.
Yeah, so we're coming into the finish now. Kiva Doyle definitely going to take it, so we're going to see a big PB from her. We're coming in on around a 4:55.88, so really strong swim. But it looks like we've got a pretty strong swim from the rest of the field as well. So we've got 2 other swimmers breaking their PBs as well. And we've got some strong finishes now as we finish up this heat number 2.
Absolutely, them all under the 350, the 350, that'll be good, wouldn't it? The 450 mark. So yeah, Kiva Doyle, 4:45, fantastic swim for her. Huge PB. What we love to see. As past swimmers ourselves, we know how hard PBs are to come by towards the end, so take them when you get them, girls. Even though you're young, take them when you get them, because they don't always last. Okay, here we go. Coming into heat 3 now. First of our seeded heats, I think. Maybe not, actually. No, they're not doing seeded heats for this one. Excuse me, but getting faster anyway. So, heat number 3. So yeah, range of swimmers here from across the country.
Yeah, so we've got a faster heat now coming in. So last heat we were kind of sticking around the 450 mark, but we're going into low 440s into this heat now. So definitely going to see an increase in speed and increase in pace as we go through those 4:100s. Fastest qualifier here, we've got Jessica Robson of Lisburn City, 17-year-old. She's qualified with a 4:43.34. So we'll see a strong start for this first 200 metres. But here goes heat number 3 on the start.
And they're off. Obviously, 400 metre freestyle, you've got a long wait behind the block before the next heat's kind of done. So, it's not like a 53 where you're just, you're literally behind the block and you're racing straight away. You've got time to mull over your thoughts. So, some swimmers are like that and some swimmers won't. But hey, they don't have a choice. Okay, here we go. Running through the lanes for you. Lane number 0, we have Sophia O'Neill of Trojan. Next to her in lane number 1, the 16-year-old from New Ross, Laura Kasuri Naji. Eva Hand is next to her, the Ard swimmer in lane 2. Eva Rock, lane 3 of New Ross. Jessica Robinson, like India said, the 17-year-old. Lane number 5, Molly O'Brick, Asgard. Lane number 6, Liana Lidan from Limerick. The 17-year-old is next to her, Clara Savobdova from Trojan. And lane number 8, Holly Robinson from Lisburn. And rounding out the field, lane 9, Anya O'Neill, Trojan swimmer, the 17-year-old. So, what we got in there?
We've got a strong start here from Jessica Robson of Lisburn City. So really going out with a nice strong kick. So I'm guessing she's just trying to set herself a pace for the first 100 metres. She's going to turn around a 105. Yeah, 105.87 for that first 100 metres. So really strong start. So it looks like her stroke rate is like long and strong, but that kick is really what's propelling her here. So already a body length ahead of the rest of the pack. Let's see if she can maintain it coming into this first half of this 400 metres.
Yeah, just like India said, yeah, there's always an early outlier that goes for it more than the others, sets the pace. You know, whether you're swimming at an age group meet or, you know, at the Olympic. Sorry there, I was just getting my coffee order in.
Thank you, Heatley.
Yeah, we need it. Getting to our age. So yeah, sorry, I interrupted there. I was talking about whether you're literally a age group swimmer or it's racing at the final of the Olympic Games, you will generally on a 400 free get somebody who goes for it more than the others, who sets the pace, and a lot of people swim off those, and sometimes they hang on, sometimes they don't. That's the beauty of the sport. It's fascinating to see. So even though these longer events, some people might say they're a bit more boring and the races aren't as close, but it's always a fascinating tactical battle, especially in sometimes the 1500s. So coming into the halfway point here, 2:17.9 for Jessica Robinson. Obviously she's coming in on a 4:43, so she's on pace to be under that. It's just maintaining this third 100 is so important, so easy to let your foot off the gas because you're sort of trying to half save energy, aren't you, India, for the last 100?
Absolutely, like we were talking about earlier. So we've got we're kind of coming into the more experienced heats, I guess, here. So I'd say a lot of these girls probably know their main competitors in this event, so they probably know what times they're looking for, what times they're swimming, whether they're on form or not. So you could have some swimmers really focusing on the person that's beside them and trying to maintain or kind of stick to a similar pace to them, and then use that tactics on the last 200 metres. As we saw, Jessica Robson really took it out strong for this first 200 metres. But beside her there, we have got in lane number 3, we've got Ava Rock. So she kind of stuck on her shoulders for that first 200 metres, and now it looks like she's going to take dominance in this last 200 metres. So really kicking down hard, picking up that stroke rate. And we've also got lane number 2 as well, Ava Hand, the 15-year-old from Ards, trying to stick with the other Ava beside her.
Yeah, absolutely, India. Looking really, really interesting here now. Obviously, Ava Rock has moved on a wee bit. So yeah, 36.4 for her. So be interesting now. This is now where, in my opinion, you just got to go for it. The tactics go out the window, and you've got to go for it. You can't. There's no worse feeling in swimming when you got out of that pool and you thought, I could have gone faster. So I think go for it from here in. Accelerate into the turn. One of the main problems with freestyle swimming, turning, swimmers decelerating into the turn, not attacking that wall. And we'll notice it more with the sort of the stronger swimmers. You'll notice it more, the sort of disparity of the trending of better turners, worse turners.
Exactly, like we said, it's a 400 metres, so it's going to hurt. So they might as well put in this last graft on this kind of last 25 metres. So we've got a pretty even field between these top 3 swimmers, but it looks like Jessica Robson has taken back just a slight lead.
It'll be close. Or
it could be close now, actually, between lane 3 and lane 4. It really just depends on who can put their head down and finish their last kind of 10 metres strong.
Yeah, it's Robinson's came back. Yeah, Robinson came back. She thought, you know what? I led most of this race, I'm going to win it. So yeah, she just got a touch, 4:41.4.
It's still a good PB from her there, so breaking that 4:43 she's down to the 4:41. So I'm sure she's hoping for a final sim this evening. It looked a little bit difficult on that last 100 metres, but at least she knows who is on form. She knows what kind of time she needs to be doing now in this final session as well.
Yeah. So she sort of was struggling a wee bit at the end, but she held on really, really well. And that's kind of every swimmer's different, you know. Any swimmer watching, or just because somebody swims the race in this way doesn't mean it can't be done better another way. I train with one of the greatest freestylers this country's ever had, Jordan Sloan. recently retired, very accomplished. And his best ever 200 freestyle, he was literally not moving the last 5 meters. He was so tired. I thought he was going to go a world record at one point. He was flying. He absolutely left it all in the pool. And just those last 5 meters, let me tell you folks, he was not moving. But hey, he already built up such a lead on his own personal best time that it was a great time. And you ever ask him, he said he wouldn't swim it any other way. But
I'm sure we both felt that, David, as well. That last kind of 5-10 meters, particularly I used to do 200 fly, and the kind of last 3 strokes, I literally felt like your arms were so heavy they're going to sink to the bottom of the pool. So, but it's the best way to swim, to be honest. You know, at least that you've given 100%, and whatever time you see on that board, at least you know that you couldn't have given any more.
Exactly. So, all these swimmers, remember that. Do your own thing and own it. Okay, heat 4. This is the penultimate heat of this women's 400 meter freestyle.
Yeah, so like David said, we've got heat number 4. It's the second last heat. We've got a full pool here, so just running down through those names again. In lane number 0, we've got Nessa Godden of Kilkenny. In lane 1, we've got Tony Jameson of Lisburn City. Lane 2, Ruth Kelly of New Ross. Lane 3, Hazel Bentley of Asgard. Lane 4, Rebecca Friel of Trojan. Lane 5, Sky Austin Burrows of Larne. Lane 6, Hannah O'Connor of Limerick. In lane 7, we've got Madison Emmett from Guildford. In lane 8, we've got Laura Potts of Temple Oak, and in lane 9, we've got Brianna Chamberlain of Cookstown. What have we got, David, here?
Yeah, we're looking, like I said, always the outlier, always somebody goes for it. So, excuse me, sorry, it is lane number 4. That's Rebecca Friel of Trojan, taking it out. So, 17-year-old sort of taking control. So, like I spoke about earlier, different tactics, but she is really actually going for it. Look at her leg kick. This is going to hurt Rebecca.
Very strong start there from lane number 4, so we're going to come in strong in this first turn. First 100 metres, we're turning on a 1:02.46. That's a serious drop off previous heats. That leg kick really isn't slowing down at all, so it looks like she is going to go for it in this heat swim.
Yeah, she's going for it all right. She arrived today, Saturday morning, in the NAC and signed up for some pain. That's why she's doing it. She's coming in really fast. That's fantastic to see. But these other swimmers, you know, you never write any other swimmers off because so much can change on a 400 metres.
And she is our fastest qualifier by a significant amount. So she got a 4:25.75.
Don't listen to me, folks.
Second swimmer coming in at 4:32. But again, Rebecca Friel, it still looks like, even with that fast qualifying time of 4:25, it really looks like she is going for this heat swim. So maybe she does have a packed out schedule for this weekend and just looking for a fast swim in this morning. And again, her splits look pretty consistent so far. So she hasn't got much competition around her. So really does have to swim her own race and just focus on her own swimming. So be interesting to see how she takes out this first 200 metres, what pace she's going to go.
Yeah. Sorry, Becca, did your massive disservice there. You're 7 seconds faster in the field at the minute. So coming in here, sub 2:10, nice, 2:09.2. See a best time, 4:25. So she's set herself up really nicely for that. I really like her stroke actually. That right arm is really reaching for you. You can almost see she's hanging that right arm. Oh, she's just out of your shot at the minute, but she'll come back in a second. Here we go. So watch how that right arm just hangs at the front and then she pulls, hangs, pulls.
It's a very impressive kick as well for 400 metres. It's not really that you'll see someone kicking so strong kind of that first 200 metres and still being able to maintain it for the third 100. We'll definitely see an increase on that last 100, but it's always this third 100 that's mentally the toughest, and also just really have to dig deep to try and get into that, past that pain barrier as well, isn't it, David?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. 400 free, brutal. See her, like I said, and yes, her legs are going really, really well. She's just holding water at the front. That's you don't want to pull too quick when your hand enters the water. You want to let it sit at the top, feel the catch, feel the front of the stroke, use your hand like an oar, and just pull the whole way through. So on a 400 free, it's a bit nicer. It's a slower rate, so you can kind of feel that water easier. But she's coming in 100 metres to go, 3:17.5, repping 34s. So pick it up a bit. She'll need to get under that 4:25 point, bringing the legs even more than she already is doing. But she has separated herself massively from the rest of the field here.
Yeah, like you said, David, it is that kind of instinct, I guess, when you're coming into the last 100 to start spinning your arms. But she has a really nice, strong stroke. She has a good catch. So if she doesn't spin the arms and keeps that strong stroke rate and just really tries to bring in the legs in this last 50 metres, hopefully she can break that 4:25. Still keeping the stroke rate nice and consistent. So coming into her final 50 metres, again, like you said, she needs to attack that wall, kick off hard and really just hammer down for this last 50.
Yeah, I think she might be she'll be right around her PB, if not slightly off. But remember, folks, she's swimming on her own here. There's nobody with her. So these swimmers, she's ahead of the rest of the field quite comfortably. So, and when she has that final tonight, she'll have more swimmers to swim off, but the legs are coming in. Her best time of 4:25. I don't think she's going to be out that. She's going to be just off it. Yeah, right on it, actually. PB of 0.15. Good on her. Came back well. 33.4. I'd love to see a 33 for her 750 as well. She was a 34, I think. So just try and bring those times down a wee bit earlier, because she's got so much kick the whole time. So I know she's got more in her there.
Yeah, at least it's still a confidence base for her. At least if she can come into this heat swim and still be able to swim that 0.15 of a PB, she knows that she can go into this second heat and maybe just really focus on that third 100 and just bringing down that pace slightly on those those kind of fifth and sixth 50s, and then she'll be able to kind of smash it home on that last 100 in this evening swim. I'd say with that time she'll be definitely clocking in an evening swim anyway.
Oh yeah, I'd like to hope so. So we got our teammate in lane 4, Grace Hodgins, coming up. This final heat of the women's 400 freestyle, and that'll round out our 400s of this first session of the Irish Open Championships 2023, the stellar meet on the Irish swimming calendar of the year. So the last of the 400 metre freestyles before we move on to some shorter events. But the fastest heat now. A lot of these swimmers will be looking to make it back tonight, so. So here we go. Final heat. Women's 400 metre freestyle. I'll run through the swimmers. In lane number 0, we have the power athlete Oisin Narayan. In lane number 1, we have Katie Prunty of Stanley Sharks. Lane number 2, Anna Feenan of Sunday's Well. Lane number 3, Holly McInerney of Temple Oak. Lane number 4, Grace Hodgin, Trojan, the 18-year-old. Lane number 5, Ella Carroll, National Centre, Limerick. The Lurgan swimmer is lane 6, Grace Cochran. At Anna Nikki Shinka, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Anna Erlingus. Her teammate as well in lane number 8, Jessica Purcell. And in lane number 9, Clara Doherty of Carrick Finns.
Yeah, so we're starting off this final heat number 5. We've got lane number 4. We've got Grace Hodgins of Trojan really just dominating the field from the start. Stroke is really nice, really long, lovely, strong pull under the water. She's looking really controlled. Not too much of a kick behind her, so it looks like she might be able to bring that in onto the second half of this, which is already turning on a 1:04.38. She has her qualifying time of 4:19.26, so she'll don't know if she'll be breaking that with a 1:04 starting off for 400, but again, looks like she'll kind of cruise into a final session this evening.
Yeah, cruising for a lot of these swimmers will be the way to go, because they'll have big programs. So if you can kind of afford it, you're going to want to cruise into the final. But then it's a catch-22, because when these girls get to international competitions, they can't cruise the final, cruise the heats. They have to go for it at European Championships, World Championships. So if you're not used to swimming fast in the morning, that can become a problem. So you got to kind of balance it really, really well. Yeah, we've got Roisin up in lane number 0. She's well under her qualification standard for this event. You know, she's a 4:42. Her qualification standard is a 5:33, so she's almost a minute inside it. So no worries for her summer meet. So here we go. Grace Hodgins through in a 2:10. So yeah, she's just going to take this. Her best is a 4:19, so she's been under the 4:20. So I think she'll just cruise here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, she's still looking very comfortable in the water there. So again, really strong with that right arm, stretching out as far as she can, getting as much distance per stroke. Her leg kick is definitely starting to improve on this second. But coming into this kind of fifth 50 now, I think her pace is pretty much similar throughout this entire 400. So
yeah, just elite in the field. So the two swimmers in the last 2 heats, the 2 Trojan swimmers, Rebecca Friel obviously took control of the last heat, and Grace Hodgins taking control of this heat. So they'll be battling out tonight, so that'll be a great race. Just the nature of the sport of swimming. When you have prelims / heats in the morning, all the fast swimmers don't swim together. They book their place in the final. So they'll seed the heats. Usually they seed the last 3 heats will be seeded of all the fast swimmers in an arrowhead formation. So the fastest swimmers in the middle and then slower ones subsequently on the outside lane. So that's sort of why you sometimes get an arrowhead shape in heats. Not so much in the distance events because so much can happen, but that'll be a fantastic race tonight. Hodgson's just going through the motions here.
Yeah, exactly. She's off swimming on her own, just like her teammate was in the previous heat, Rebecca Friel. So not much competition around her. So she's really focusing on her own swim, so focusing on her own technique, focusing on that own pace. Like we spoke about earlier, she probably practiced what pace she was going to do in her warm-up. So really focusing. I think she's been kind of consistently turning on 33s here. I wonder if she's picking up that pace. Yeah, she's gotten a little bit faster now for this last 100, just to see, I'm guessing, what kind of pace she can hold for a final swim this evening. So going around 32.87. So I definitely feel like she'll be improving on each of those 50 paces coming into the final session this evening.
Yeah, I think she's definitely got a PB in her tonight. She's sort of up on that rate nicely. So I think she's sort of just thinking, you know, you get to 300 metres you've tried, well, you sort of think, oh, you might as well keep going. But yeah, she's keeping that head. She needs to keep that head a wee bit lower. I prefer that, but coming in really nicely, just over 420, maybe a 421, 422. Yeah, 421.88 for Grace Hodgins, booking her place comfortably in that final for tonight. So bringing up the rest of the field here. Who have we got?
It's actually a very good split there from Grace. If she was able to turn that first 200 on a 210 and then be able to come back in a 211 pretty much for the second 200, it definitely looks like she's quite consistent this morning, and she'll be able to hammer home a great PB this evening.
Yeah. Grace will be straight into the swim down pool now. Recovering. Going through her sort of swim down routine. Every single swimmer here will have their own specific swim down routine, all different to one another, none the same as each other. It's really individual swimming, that warm ups and swim downs. You know, I didn't like doing as big a warm up as others, you know, but a lot of swim, you don't have a choice for swim down. You have to swim down to remove the lactic acid so you can come back tonight. You know, otherwise if you don't swim down, you don't sort of remove that fatigue from the race, it'll just sit in your muscles, and that is not fun, let me tell you.
Same as you, sprinters mentality when it comes to the warm-up, just trying to get as little done in the warm-up. But yeah, absolutely, the swim down is crucial. So again, majority of these swimmers are probably going to have a packed out schedule. If they don't swim down properly, they're going to start to feel that lactic acid.
Of course,
really
especially
heavy,
by day 4 or 5.
Absolutely, yeah. Really heavy legs, really heavy arms if they don't get rid of it. So again, like we said before, good hydration as well. It's very hot on this bank today, so if they're not staying hydrated, they're going to start to feel that lactic acid really kick in.
I could be in sunny Spain right now, the heat in here.
Absolutely.
But I prefer to be here. Here we go. Okay, so moving on to the men's 100 metre breaststroke. 7 heats of this. We've got some fantastic swimmers coming up at the end here. Corby, Green, Cook. Okay, O'Connor as well is fantastic. So here we go. Heat number 1 in lane 1. We've got Ignat Samichov from Laois Marlins, and lane number 2, Brendan Pretorius, Kilkenny, Ross McComb, Banbridge. Lane number 4, Aaron Hare of Bangor. Lane number 5, Emilian Petchera of Trojan. Next to him, the 14-year-old, also from Trojan, Bo McCabe. And lane number 7, Levi Clark of Glenalbin. So very different event in there to the 400 freestyle.
Absolutely. We've started to notice now with breaststroke, it's definitely becoming a lot more technical. So we're getting a lot of our power pretty much from that leg drive. So you'll see the swimmers really trying to shoot themselves forward as much as they can on every single stroke. But again, just like we were kind of talking about in the back roll earlier, the underwaters are extremely important when it comes to breaststroke. So getting a good rip through, as you can see from lane number 7 there, had a fantastic turn actually. So kind of coming about half a body length behind and then having that really fantastic turn and pretty much kind of taking the lead here on this first heat.
Absolutely. Breaststroke obviously the slowest of the 4 strokes because there's so much drag. Okay, so it's all about minimizing that drag, staying low. But it is, as India said, lane number 7, Levi Clark looking really, really strong. His entry time is a 1:17.7. You're going to go under that, kiddo. Good work, 1:15.9 PB there for him. Fantastic. You know, bringing that in. That breaststroke's a funny one. Very difficult stroke to do.
Yeah, like you were saying there before, David, it is the slowest of all 4 strokes, and it's because of all that resistance. So what you'll start to notice as we go through the heats as well is that a lot of swimmers, they kind of spend a lot of energy maybe lifting themselves up in the water so they can push forward. But what I start to notice with the more experienced swimmers, that they send all their energy just shooting forward. So all that power, so ripping the water underneath them and just shooting forward on every single stroke. Again, the leg kick has changed significantly over the years as well. So kind of going from that wide frog stroke into this wedge kick now. So again, getting that good power behind you. So it's also all about coordination, getting your breathing right, etc. on breaststroke. So very technical stroke here.
Yeah, very, very technical, and sort of changed through, especially the 100 breaststroke recently through Adam Peaty. Obviously he took absolute joke how much faster he went than everybody. He completely changed the swimming stroke, very high, very powerful kind of stroke, whereas before you sort of had Kazuki Kitajima, the Japanese. He won the double-double Japanese swimmer in Athens 04, Beijing 08. He was very small and very slight and had a very nice kind of technical stroke. And then Peaty came along and just changed the whole game. So swimmers will begin to emulate him.
So we're coming into heat number 2 of 7 now. We've got Connor Corbett of Wexford in lane 0, Cody Lau of Ballymena in lane 1, Jamie Flynn, lane 2, Splash World, lane 3, Leonardo Diallo in Trojan. So we've got Leo Callahan in lane 4 from Breffni, Riley Brown of Ballymena in lane 5, Pierce Hanley in lane 6 of Blackrock, Frederick Morrow of Athlone, his teammate beside him, Christian O'Brien in lane 8, and Dara Finlayson in lane 9 of Glenalbin.
Yeah, Leo Callahan there in lane 4, kind of emulating what I was saying, similar to what Adam Peaty does. Chest comes very high out of the water, see that, but you've got to have power to do that. That resistance is huge. Even though he's winning, he's got so much resistance there at the top. So you've got to be super strong to have a stroke like that, but hey, he's doing pretty well. Top of your lane 2, top of your picture. Very different stroke, staying a lot lower. Lane number 8, Christian O'Brien of Athlone. Differing strokes. These guys will all be going for it. We're going to have 3 sub 115s here. Oh, poor finish, Christian. Breaststroke's a funny one, not like freestyle. Breaststroke and fly, you've got to spot the finish well, finish on a full strokes. You might just see a top of your shot here. Look, he didn't need this next stroke. Yeah, he knows it too. There's more in him there. Yeah, he knows. But hey, good swim, Christian.
Yeah, great swim. Like you said, David, so breaststroke has really changed over the years, and we could see definitely a lot of Adam Peaty strokes there trying to come in heat number 2, and we'll probably see it as we go through the heats as well. But even Adam Peaty himself changed up his stroke quite a lot throughout his career, so kind of seeing him back in Mare Nostrum around 2012, 2013, much more of a slight lad, probably didn't build up as much muscle as he does have now. He's a bit of a powerhouse now, isn't he? So as you get stronger in swimming as well, your stroke is going to change naturally depending on how much kind of strength and muscle mass you have behind you. But you can start to see these swimmers definitely trying to emulate him, so he's a good role model in this event now. Yeah,
and you'll see coming into the later heats here, with your likes of your Corbies, your Greens, your Cooks, all swimming very, very differently, in different ways. Corby's got an extremely powerful stroke. He's a big guy. Green's got more of a jerky, stabby kind of stroke that's really, really nice. So, all different styles. Like I said, in the freestyle, there's so many different ways to get to the same result, whether it's tactically or technically. So, moving on to slightly faster swimmers now. Heat 3. Your 113, little blanket 113s in the middle.
Yeah, it's going to be a fast race here for heat number 3. So we've got 5 swimmers pretty much hitting that 113.0 mark. But just running through those lanes again, we've got Lychuk in lane 0, Karchenko in 1, Eiley in lane 2, Logan in 3, Davy in 4, McDowell in 5, Fitzpatrick in 6, Lannon in 7, McGrath in 8, and Jordan in lane 9.
Yeah, so very, very quickly, closest to us, lane number 0, taking the lead. That is Sasha Lychuk. Really, really looking strong.
Got a great grasp on the water there, actually, lane 0, doesn't he? So let's see how he hits this turn.
Yeah, 33.3, nice. Obviously, on breaststroke, you don't have the underwater butterfly kicks like you do in the other strokes. You have one breaststroke pull out you're allowed, and you're allowed one dolphin kick at any point of that breaststroke pull out. So very, very different to the other strokes. So that's why we say breaststrokes are like different animals to the rest of us.
You can see here from lane 0, just on the bottom of your screen, you can see how short that stroke actually is on breaststroke. So it's not coming right underneath the chest. It's pretty much just a small circle to the front and then shooting your body forward. So really good technique there from lane number 0. He's quite a tall lad, so he's definitely got a good grasp on the water. But I think it's going to be lane number 4 that's going to take this heat. And we've got, lane number 7 actually.
It was 7,
so Jamie Lannon came out of nowhere, 1:12.55. Great swim there from
Jimmy
lane number
Lannon,
7.
very good, yeah. All around like I said before, they were all sort of flirting with the 1:13s. Yeah, Jimmy Lannon just came home, like, spotted the finish. Assassin up there in lane 7, creeping up on everyone. So they're all around the 1:13s there. So that was PBs there, that was good. Before we move on to the last heat before our seeded heats. This is heat number 4 of 7. Obviously that Irish senior record you can see in the top right, 59.7, that is Dara Green. Seeing him later. Great breaststroker. So but like I said, these heats are interesting, folks, because you don't know who's going for it, who's not. It's hard to know. In the finals, everyone will be going for it, so it's, but it's interesting to call to see who's holding back, who's not. So a lot of these guys will all be going for it, though. Trying to book a place in that final, that A final too. You want to be in that A final if you can. Even if you're in the outside lane, that buzz around the A final is just second to none.
Yeah, each heat is actually getting significantly faster as well. So we have 1:13 kind of blanket in heat number 3, but now we're moving on to heat number 4. 1:11 is our fastest qualifier here. So coming in for our start, and we'll run through the list of names.
Yeah, so entry off the dive, crucial. Keep streamlined, keep tight.
Yeah, so just running down through that list of people. So we've got Rusk in 0, O'Brien in 1, Eights in 2, Cowgill in 3, Fane in 4, McGinley in 5, we've got Rinn in 6, Morris in 7, Van de Beek in 8, and Sweeney in 9.
Yeah, looking strong. All very, very similar. You get that in breaststroke sometimes, people sort of more of a blanket kind of finish. If you want a race to watch, go on YouTube and watch the 2016 200 breaststroke men's final. It is unbelievable. The last 5 meters, any one of 8 of them can win it. It's an absolutely ridiculous race to watch. So go on YouTube and watch that after this. But here we go. McGinley, lane number 5, taking it out.
Yeah, looking really strong there from McGinney. Like we said, it's kind of down to your skills as well when it comes to breaststroke. So we had a pretty even heat there from swimming-wise coming down to that first 50, but off the turn you can see who's really worked on their underwaters when it comes to breaststroke, which is, again, crucial. You can still get to that 15 metres if you have a really strong pull out and a really strong kick. But it looks like we're starting to pick up that stroke rate in lane number 5. Going to finish strong.
Yeah, he's 1:11 is his best. Yeah, just a PB, I think, for McGinley.
1:11.29, just a small PB there. Yeah.
But hey, you take the small margins whenever you can. So yeah, look at this finish. Let's see who spots the finish, folks. That's a good finish there. Perfect. Yeah. Tough on breaststroke to get that finish right, especially at the end of a race when you're tired. And your stroke might have shortened more than it's used to, but yeah, really, really good. So we got Usain Cook here in lane 4. She swims out of Edinburgh University. Really talented swimmer. Freakishly strong. So interesting to see what he goes. Saw him at breakfast this morning. His best is a 61.8. He was looking real relaxed at breakfast, having some eggs and some coffee, like you do on a Saturday morning. So yeah, interesting to see how they go in lane 6. We got Cody Dunyan as well, premium freestyle talent. Now training out of the National Centre Ulster under Kevin Anderson. So interesting to see how he goes. He swims a 50 100 free on the 100 breast. Weird mix, Cody. What are you doing? Okay, but looking at Liam O'Connor as well. Liam O'Connor, fantastic swimmer. Also from the 18-year-old. So he'll be looking at times for, European Under-23 Championships. Obviously being hosted here in August, that'll be so exciting. Last time Ireland hosted an event like that was 2001 European Short Course. Andrew Bree, our live commentator, got a silver medal in the 200 breaststroke, so that'll be great to have that here in August. But here we go, expecting Cook probably to take us out comfortably. He's got a big gap in the rest of the field, 4 or so seconds. See that power I was talking about, folks? With the back muscles just accelerating through, like India said, a kind of strong, aggressive stroke.
Yeah, we've got a significant change in pace here coming into heat number 5. So, like David said, Oisin Cook, fastest qualifier here in a 1:01.89. But again, as you can see, difference in strokes here, even in the middle 2 lanes. So we've got one person really shooting forward, one person coming up a lot higher than the other. But it seems to work for both of them. But got a lot of power here coming from Oisin Cook. You see, as he said before, a really, really strong lad coming in for this 100-metre breaststroke.
And I really like O'Connor. I like O'Connor a lot. He's kind of just got that real sort of, I talk about breaststroke, I talk about having pop and intention with your stroke. So intention on every follow through. Make sure you're not having one stroke different to the last. Intention the whole way. So here we go, coming in. This could be just off his PB. 63.0. Not a great finish. Mr. Cook, your coach, I was talking to your coach Ross Douglas this morning at breakfast. He'll not be happy about that finish though, but that's fine. Do it this morning, not tonight. Yeah, jab that one. Don't want to be doing that, folks.
Yeah, I think he knows it himself. That definitely was finishing on a half stroke, but at least he got it done in the heat swim, so he knows what he has to do, what he has to change up now for this final swim. I think he's comfortably through to the final there with a 103.01.
Yeah, Matthew Hand coming in third there, also National Centre Ulster. Fantastic breaststroker, just in front of Dunyan. But here we go. Dara Green, Olympian, Tokyo 2020, National Centre Dublin. Known him a long, long time. Now, so see what he's got here in the heats. He's been in a lot of training camps. He was at altitude maybe twice. So, you know, they're trying new things before the Paris 2024 games next year. You know, if you're going to try different training methods, whether it's training at altitude or training racing a different way, you know, you might as well try it now. You don't want to try Olympic gear in case it goes wrong. But training at altitude is just, you know, there's less oxygen up there, so it sort of forces your body to produce more red blood cells, produce more oxygen. So when you come back down to sea level, you've got more, your body produces more red blood cells than it would have done. So that's sort of the idea behind altitude training. Dara Green looking shredded in lane number 4. So interesting to see what he goes here. Obviously a 63.0 was it in there for Cook?
63.0, yeah. So it'll be interesting. We know Dara's training's been going well over the past few months, so he usually is a cool, calm, collected person in heat swims, but it'll be interesting to see if he kind of tests the waters now on this heat swim and see what he can go.
Yeah, 28-year-old now. Here we go. So obviously he is the Irish record holder in a 59.7, but you see how low his stroke is, much lower, and you'll see Corby in the next heat slightly different to him, but he looks like he looks good actually. I like it.
He looks very good, yeah. Again, like we were talking about before, if any young swimmers are watching, you should really look at all of Dara's kind of technical work as well, like including his dive, the power off his dive, his pull out. He'll be hitting the wall pretty much dead on, yeah, exactly for that turn. Again, strong pull under the water, good butterfly kick, and break out perfectly getting into that next stroke. So Dara's looking really well coming into this competition now.
Yeah, Dara, I like it a lot. Coming in really, really nice. Yeah, I don't think he'll be going for it 100%, but he's just sometimes be a statement, especially for your own head. You set a good time in the heat, really sets you up for the final, but he is completely taking the mick here out of the rest of the field.
He's gliding through the water, isn't he?
Yeah, he's looking really good. Best I've seen Dara look in a long time, actually. Comes in, he's going to get under? Get under, kid. 60.3, that's a big swim. 60.39 for Dara Green. That looked really comfortable. I've never seen him at a 60.3 look that comfortable, so I can't wait for tonight. Berryman coming in second there in a 64, but he was a class of his own. Yeah, good finish, Dara.
Dara pretty much hit everything dead on there on that. So like I said before, his start, his reaction time, his breakout, his turn, he was hitting the walls perfectly on every single stroke. So definitely, yeah, the best I've seen Dara train or compete in a long time. So clearly his training has been standing to him over the past few months.
Absolutely, that's a really good swim from him there. So he'll be looking at, don't have them in front of me, or maybe I do actually, hold on, the World Championship qualifying times. Hold on, folks. 100 meter breaststroke for Fukuoka 2023 is a 59.75. You know, obviously the consideration is a 60.38. So was it 3.8? Was he inside 3.8?
3.9 he was.
3.9. Oh, Dara, come on. So he's just so he'll be going there. He'll be at Worlds in the summer. I have no doubt about that. So now you're looking at Corby in lane number 4. Very powerful athlete. You'll see him off the dive. Extremely strong in the gym. Does a lot of gym work. So you'll see him really coasting. He'll have seen that from Dara there, 60.3, and he'll know. He'll go, okay, right. And we'll see what he's got. Final heat here of the men's 100 meter breaststroke.
Yeah, so like you said there, David, we've got Owen Corby coming in lane 4. It's always great competition between Owen and Dara, whether it's the 100 metre or the 200 metre. So it'll be interesting to see how Owen takes this heat swim. Is he going to try and really, really push that pace. So two people will be side by side with similar times going into this final swim this evening. But we know who our two clear favourites are for this 100-metre breaststroke final this evening. It's going to be Dara Green and Owen Corby. But Owen looking really strong as well. That glide on that on each stroke looking really strong.
28.9, slightly slower than what Green was. So, but he'll be cruising through this, coming home. Look at that power. Look at that intent on the follow through. Every single stroke, bang, bang. So yeah, he's just setting himself up nice. Look how high. You can see it was bummed right up at the top of the water. That's a sign on breaststroke that they're really glide. There's less drag because you need to, like I said, breaststroke so much drag. You need to minimize that. But Corby coming in, he'll be similar, maybe about a 61 or so. Yeah, 61.8, a second and a half slower. So based on that this morning, Green looking the favourite for tonight. He'll be in lane 4.
Yeah, so still a really strong spin there. Excuse me, from Owen Corby. If you are actually to count his strokes, he's only taken about 21 strokes to get back down on that second 50 on a 50-metre breaststroke. So again, to any young swimmer out there, you can see the distance per stroke that he's getting on every single stroke. So probably like over 2 meters per stroke. So it's really strong. You can see the power behind him. But like David said there, it's going to be got our fastest qualifier of Dara Green at 60.39 and Owen Corby beside him at 61.81. But still be a great swim between the two of them this evening.
So yeah, that concludes our male 100-metre breaststroke. 7 heats of that, so that flew by. When you've got 400s, the 100 seems so fast afterwards. But moving on now, flying through this, only got 2 more events. We've got India's event now, the women's 100-metre butterfly. You can see Ellen Walsh, the Irish senior record holder, at 59.32. So she's entered. Actually, she's not even in the fastest heat. I wonder, she had a bit of time off, didn't she? So she'll not have posted a faster time. That's why we've got Molly Main, actually the fastest qualifier. But great to see Ellen Walsh back in the pool.
Absolutely, we know that she had a fantastic short course season there back in December. She was definitely looking back on form and stuff, so it'll be interesting to see how she transfers over to the long course season as well. 100 fly again, another great event, another very technical event too, so we'll see different tactics. We'll see some people breathing every stroke, some people breathing every 3, but really it comes down to kind of that strong undulation work behind the swimmer, and again that underwater work as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So just the 2 lengths. So again, very similar, I think, personally, to the 50-metre events we're talking about. You can't slip your stroke, especially in fly, because fly is such a power-based stroke. You got to hold that water at the front. Just, really just sort of accelerate through the back end of the stroke. Let that front catch sort of take care of itself, and then really accelerate as your hands flick over the top. But leading the way, lane number 4, is Tara Kennedy. Looking really kind of nice, just sort of coasting into the wall, and spotting your turns must be hard, India, on a 100-metre butterfly as well.
Yeah, similar enough to that breaststroke. It's kind of knowing how many strokes it takes you to get down, but you also need to nail your dive and make sure that your underwater is on form, because if you even take 1 extra kick or 1 less kick on that underwater, you're going to be hitting the wall on that half stroke. So it's about making sure that you're getting it right, especially in these heat swims. So these kind of first couple of heats, they want to be swimming as fast as they can to try and make a final swim this evening. But I know butterfly looks a lot like kind of a shoulder stroke, and it is. You need to have strong shoulders, but it comes a lot from this hip drive. So like David said before, this kind of undulation coming behind the girls as well, it's what's going to drive them forward on their butterfly. So look like we have some strong swimmers here coming into this first heat. Always a little bit sore coming into this last 5-10 metres. But we've got lane number 4 taking that first heat in a 1:10.38. So very strong swimmer there for the Banbridge swimmer, Tara Kennedy, just 14 years of age. So I'm sure she'll be happy with that at an Irish Open meet. Yeah,
fantastic. And Tara actually lost her hat there halfway down the pool. You noticed she started in a red hat, she finished in a navy hat. No, she's not a magician. Her hat just fell off. So yeah, so here we go. Heat number 2 coming up. That was great swims from all the swimmers there. So only 5 heats here, so we'll be into the seeded heat straight after this one. So it'll go by quick. So these swimmers looking for finals tonight. Women's 100 metres butterfly. Again, like I said, in the 50-metre freestyle, Emma McKeon, that's her event too, the 100 fly Olympic champion. You'll see all them at the World Championships this summer in Fukuoka in Japan. And you sort of, all these young swimmers, it's great now. They can just go on YouTube and look at all the best swims any swimmer's ever done. It's fantastic to be able to see that and compare and sort of go, oh, that's how they do it. And it's just at the click of a button. It's fantastic, really, really good. So, all these swimmers will be watching back their own races as well.
Absolutely, it's really important to kind of have these streaming events now at major competitions, so swimmers can, one, go back and look at their own strokes, but also go back and compare to maybe our Irish swimmers that are setting those records going to international competitions, but also looking at those international swimmers as well that are setting world record, European records, etc. We're coming on to heat number 2 now, so we've got a faster heat now. Fastest qualifier in a 1:10.55, that is Sarah Sally from St. Felix, lane number 4.
Yeah, so here we go. I'll run through the lanes very, very, very quickly. Heat number 2, Edgar lane 0, Dempsey 1, Lyons 2, Zhang 3, Salai 4, Yelverton in lane number 5, Jacob 6, McLean 7, Mooney 8, and Keane in lane number 9.
Yeah, again, so a strong start here in heat number 2. So very similar to a breaststroke, you create a lot of resistance the higher you come out of the water. So you want to see these swimmers staying nice and low, keeping their chin pretty much breaking the surface of the water as they're going for that breath to the front. There are 2 different kind of breathing styles when it comes to fly. So you can either breathe to the front or you can breathe to the side. Breathing to the side is a lot less popular when it comes to fly though, because it kind of takes away from that propulsion forward. But again, the hip drive undulation is where you're going to get most of the power here, and you can kind of see that from our 2 outside lanes here that are taking the lead on this heat number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Like India said, breathing to the side. You don't see many doing that, so some of the top swimmers might. But yeah, coming up, it's some of the top lanes, lane 6 and 7. That's Jacobs and McLean. Looks like McLean, I think, going to take it. There's something in the water in those top lanes. Yeah, 109.1, good work. First time sub 110.
Yeah.
That'll be a personal barrier for her.
Yeah, it was good PBs there. We had Leah Jacobs of lane 6 definitely taking the lead for that first 75, but it really looked like she tied up. You can see her coming in here for these last 2 or 3 strokes coming into the wall. They definitely look like they're hurt. So lane number 7, Victoria McLean taking that heat number 2, but great swim from the girls there.
Yeah, fantastic. Really, really great. You know, swimmers some of these swimmers might have arrived and be waiting about a wee bit of time, you know, depending on what time. If they came with, you know, their other athletes or something and they have to kind of wait around. So it's about managing sort of your own emotions throughout a meet. People just think it's turn up and race. It's absolutely not just turn up and race. You know, there's a lot of emotions managing, nerves, how to manage being happy with a swim, sad with a swim, you know, and getting that, and not letting a good swim, whether it be a good swim or a bad swim, affect your next one. You know, just taking each race as it comes and just really, really focusing on what you have to do. But here we are in our first of our 3 seeded heats in this women's 100-meter butterfly. Fastest qualifier is Alana Burns-Atkin of Banbridge in a 61.9, so we should see a big increase in quality of swims here.
Yeah, again, another swimmer, that's Banbridge swimmer, Alana Burns-Atkin. She had a very good short course season back in December. So again, interesting to see how she transferred it over to the long course season. Again, if I remember correctly, she had really, really strong underwater. So she only has 2 turns, well, she only has 1 turn, on this 100 fly. So she's going to have to use it to her advantage.
Absolutely, yeah. Very different event to short course. You're not having those underwaters. You've got to be a lot fitter to swim long course than short course. That hat is still chilling there in lane number 4. They need to get rid of that swim cap. But here we go, like I said, Alana Burns-Atkin taking the lead, comfortably, long kind of stroke. Spot the turn here. Might be a wee bit short into it, it's okay though, it's okay, 29.1. Nice, first 50. Now India is where you sort of try and bring in the speed, don't you?
Absolutely.
35 out.
Alana has an interesting stroke here. Her arms do go through the water quite quick, so she's not that she's not getting much of a grasp, but she doesn't pull in underneath her body like majority of butterfly swimmers do, but she must have a good hold onto the water at the front. And then again, you can see that undulation, you can see those hips coming nice and high at the back, and then that strong kick down on each stroke. So she changes up her breathing rhythm. She kind of goes 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 1 and 1. But again, strong swimmer here and finishing in a 102.3.
Yeah, 102.3 for Burns-Atkin. But that'll finish again, folks. We said it. Where do you see here? This would have been a PB. She comes in. She needs to finish here, and just took that other one and bang. You know. So those details. You know, great 99 meters, and that last 1 meter, just swimming's crazy sport. So difficult. It all happens so quickly. You know, you've almost no time to react to what you're doing. It's really difficult. So really admire these swimmers standing up and doing that, because it's not easy, let me tell you. We've got Ellen Walsh coming up here in lane number 4.
Yeah,
Tokyo Olympian.
Yeah, so again, great to have Ellen back in the pool and performing like really strong again. So like we said, her short course season, it was really nice just to kind of have her back have her dominating the field again, especially when it comes to this 100 fly. So like we said, we haven't really seen her do that kind of 100 fly long course in a while, so that's probably why she's taking heat number 4 instead of heat number 5. But let's see if she takes out fast in this heat swim, or whether she's going to save it for the final.
Yeah, probably a bit of both, I think. You know, so sometimes I think in your first race of the meet, you kind of want to just get going, don't you? You don't want to just chill out too much.
Absolutely, it's kind of that confidence boost. Like we said before, it's kind of that relaxed 95% effort, I guess, in the heat swim. So it will kind of give her that indicator of how she's performing from the heat swim to the final swim.
Absolutely. So stellar underwaters. Look at the pace. Look at the rate of the underwaters and up. Yeah, so obviously she holds the Irish senior record, 59.3. That was set in 2021. I don't think she'll be after that this morning, but crazier things have happened. But yeah, look at that. Just really splitting the field. That quality showing. The
power in her stroke is absolutely phenomenal when it comes to Ellen Walsh's butterfly. So turning into 27.41, again, really that nice strong kick as well, nearly coming up to that 12.5, that 15-metre mark, and getting straight back into that stroke race. She's looking really
very
strong.
quick there, 27.4 here, folks. This might be close to that Irish record. Do not count that out. She's absolutely flying. As I said earlier, maybe she just want to dive in and go for it. Because when she goes to World Championships this summer, she's going to have to go for it in the morning. But hey, this will not be far off at all. At all. Wow. 58.32. That's an Irish senior record.
By a full second.
Almost by a full second. I'm just double checking on my other sheet because that seems so unbelievably crazy. Yeah, 59.32 was the Irish senior record, and she just went 58.32. A full second. When you're breaking records by a full second in the morning
well, we
of
know
the
she's
Irish
on
Championships.
form.
Ellen Walsh was chill out. Yeah, Andrew Bree, our announcer, our live announcer, has just announced it. Irish senior record for Ellen Walsh by a full second. Like some of these swimmers' times are just... Look at that, she's just not even tired.
She doesn't even seem phased, does she? She's just hopping out of the water as if she's just gone for
Stop showing off, Ellen, will you? That's a fantastic swim. Like India called it, just that power and that stroke and that rate of that kick was just incredible. So that was joy to watch. And hey, you might even get a 57 tonight, who knows?
I'd say it's in her. I've never seen someone look so comfortable getting out of a 100 fly and just looking so chilled with an Irish senior record by a full second. So fantastic swim by Ellen Walsh this morning. We know exactly what we're going to expect from her over the next 5 days. Yeah,
that's a big swim there. I didn't expect that one. Just as she was coming down the second length, she's flying here. So great to see that in the morning. So obviously there hasn't been too many crazy fast swims because naturally it's morning heats, prelim swimming, so you don't really get that until the finals. But hey, we're treated to one there.
Sometimes you forget she's such a strong 50 flyer that like when she's turning on a 27.4, you're like, it's a decent swim. 27. But then when you actually turn, you're like, oh wow, 27.4 is a fantastic first 50
You were
split.
talking as she came in there, and it was 27. I was like, wait, hold on a minute, 27's rapid. But final heat, don't forget about Molly Main. Also a Temple Oak swimmer who trains out in Dubai. So we run down at the field. I doubt we'll get anybody be a faster seed than Ellen Walsh, but yeah, again, sort of Molly Main, a breaststroker as well, sort of separating herself. That hat, I still haven't got rid of that hat in the middle of the pool. That's annoying me. But here we go. Molly Main just booking her place in that final. And sometimes you're pumped up after seeing someone do that. You're like, wow. Seeing somebody go 58.3, and you sort of think, oh, I can do that. 29.1 she's out in, so a good bit slower than Walsh, but that's expected. Just, the rest of the field now looking also to book their places. Caitlin McCaw's not there. Below her, who's that, in lane number 3, that's Eldonigan of Lauren. So yeah, this is just about booking your place in the final. India?
Yeah, still a great swim from Molly here. She's looking really strong herself, but again, after seeing Ellen in that previous heat, she kind of knows that she just needs to swim her own race. She needs to book herself into that final, so I guess she doesn't really need to expend all that energy when she knows that Ellen's going to be swimming that 58 low.
Yeah, I think Ellen's going to be in a field of her own tonight. Everybody else looking for the silvers and bronzes. It's a race for silver and bronze for everyone else. But great swim though. Also from Maine.
Yeah, so we have a strong final now this evening. So we've got obviously Ellen Walsh going in with that 58.32. But from heat number 3, we do have Alana Byrne-Atkins actually that's going in second with that 102.31, and then we'll have Molly Main finish it while coming in third into that final with a 102.42. So fast swimming this evening, expected in that 100 fly. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely, that was great to watch. But we're moving on to the final heat of this morning. Oh, sorry, the final heat, excuse me. The final event of this morning, the men's 200-meter butterfly. Just the 3 heats, so these will all be seeded heats here. So we have a swimmer in this one, Ethan Hansen, who's considerably faster than everybody else. So watch him take it out. He's in at a 2:01. And obviously, all the records here held by Brendan Highland, recently retired Tokyo Olympian. You know, he was dominated 200 fly in Ireland for 10 years. You know, Irish senior record, 156.5, Irish junior record. I was with him when he set that in California in 2013. I remember that, 159.1. And he also holds a meet record of a 157.2. So Highland's legacy etched on the record books. But here we go, heat 1 of 3.
All right, so again, like David said, event 7, so the men's 200 fly. So it's quickly running down through those names. We've got Jason Giasuin in lane 0. We've got David Leggett in 1. Connor Lanigan in lane 2. Ben Moran in 3. Ethan Hansen in 4. Charlie Eatwell in 5. Dara Lynch in 6. Alex Barrett in 7. And Cormac Farron in lane 8. So 200 metres, slightly different to the 100 metres. So probably have to pace a lot more in this one, won't they, David, than the 100?
Absolutely, and like I said, Hansen has a considerable lead. But Charlie Eatwell, actually, interesting athlete. You know, he's a phenomenal attitude. He gives everything to every single training session, every single rep. Trains with Curtis Coulter at Ards Swimming Club. Was actually part of our training group during lockdown when only a few swimmers were allowed to. So he loves just going for it. I love a swimmer like that. Sometimes it doesn't always work out for him. But hey, you love the attitude. But it is Hansen, like I thought. Taking it out, this 2 fly, looking really comfortable. Out in a 58.1. Eatwell's following him on a 60.4. That's good. First 100 for him. But 200 flies are a funny one there. People will drop off very quickly if they've tried too hard.
Yeah, the 200 fly is pretty much all about pacing. So you can take it out hard, but again, like we kind of talked about before, it's kind of taking it out hard, but also taking it out relaxed, because the lactic acid can build up very quick on a 200 fly. It's going to be that last kind of 15, 20 meters where you're either really going to feel it and you're going to have to dig in deep, or you're going to know whether you've paced it well or not, to be honest. But Ethan here, very Michael Phelps-esque stroke here, like breathing every one, very strong drive to the front. So yeah, he's looking really strong in this heat swim.
Yeah, keeping that chin really low to the water. Obviously you want to eliminate drag as best you can, but he's looking powerful. And like I said before about the seeded heats, that arrowhead, you know, so that's really separated the field there. The cameraman's having a very hard time keeping everyone on the shot. But Hansen coming in, his best is a 2:01, so he might just be inside that, just outside. Yeah, 2:02.3. Tightened up slightly towards the end, but that is expected on a 2 fly. Very, very hard. But Eatwell hanging on in there. Coming out 2:10.3, his best 2:09.2. But like I said, you learn so much from every race you do. This race is just about managing your stroke, managing your energy, as much as it is about diving in and racing. So
exactly, 200 fly is always going to be a difficult event. Like, it's never going to be like you can take it out too easy, to be honest. It's not like a front crawl event. You're going to have to dig in deep in some sense. Like, the lactic acid is definitely going to build up. But Ethan there, he did look strong, he did look controlled. They never really looked like he was faltering. He never looked like he was kind of dying off towards the end. So I guess that might give him a bit of confidence. He's only just above that kind of PB. So I'd say he'll be doing well now this evening.
Yeah. And obviously, you know, the world record holder is Christoph Milak of Hungary. You'll see him this summer, and you would have seen him last summer at the World. So he's a phenomenal athlete. Just launches himself out of the water. So much energy, so much power. You know, that's all these swimmers will be trying to emulate that. You got to look at those top guys. Even look back at the old Michael Phelps, Chadwick Close, you know, Laszlo Shea back in the day. You know, those swimmers were all super powerful athletes and technically really proficient. So you got to emulate that. Swim your own race, but try and emulate what those guys do. So now Jack Casson had a really good short course season as well, training out of Limerick with John Stranick. So heat number 2 of 3. So these guys got to go for it. You know, they've got to book their place in that final.
Yeah, again, like you said, David, so we have Jack Casson in lane 4. He's our fastest qualifier, 2:01:31. Had a really strong short course season, so again, it'll be interesting to see how he's on form in this April Irish Open. But again, just running down through those names, we've got Ben Wilson in 0, Adam Lynch in 1, Donica McCarthy in 2, Adam Wilson in 3, again Jack Casson in 4, Brogan McAviney in 5, Cian Mason in 6, Louis Maguire in 7, Brian Mawahini in 8, and Liam O'Driscoll in 9.
Yeah, thanks, India. So yeah, it is lane 4, Jack Casson, like we thought. I can't tell you, folks, how different a 200 fly is, short course to long course. It's almost a completely different sport, you know, because on short course you get that turn, you get that almost wee break of underwater. You don't swim as far, you know, so you don't have to be as fit. Literally, it's as simple as that. You can be more powerful, but on this long course, you've got to be a fit swimmer, let me tell you.
To be honest, though, I actually preferred a 200 fly long course than I did
You're a psycho.
short course. Only because when it comes to 200 fly, again, I've spoken about it before. It's kind of when it comes down to that rhythm, and if you break that rhythm and you can't get it back, it's much more difficult to kind of finish that race. So, that's kind of when the lactic acid kicks in and stuff. So yeah, definitely the 200 on a short course, you get that little bit of a break. But if you don't get back into your rhythm, and especially your breathing rhythm, etc., and getting back into that undulation rhythm,
you can't get it back.
You can't get it back in a 200 fly. So 200 fly long course, a little bit easier to keep that rhythm. But like you said, you have to be much fitter. You don't get that extra break. And then when it comes into that third turn and that last kick down underwater, I can guarantee you they'll all be starving for oxygen there.
Yeah. So it's just maintaining form, like any part of swimming, maintain your technique, like any sport. You know, watching any sport, especially sports like Olympic sports like this. Just maintain your technique the whole way. Maintain your technique. You got to be fit enough to do that. But Jack Casson looking really strong here. He's got an entry time of 2:01:3. He should maybe just be inside that sub 2 minutes. Come on, Jack, get your hand on the wall, kid. Yeah, he did. Awesome. 1:59.6. First time under 2 minutes. Yeah, you can see by his reaction there. Big smile. I was talking about barriers earlier, and the butterfly, especially the men's 200 butterfly, the barrier is 2 minutes. First time you do that, well, then the rest, it'll plummet. I remember when Brendan Hyland did it for the first time. It plummeted then after that because the sort of mental block is gone. Great swim from Casson, just showing that he's not only good at the short course, but he's really stellar in the long course. Great finish.
Yeah, you can see the strength there from Jack. So kind of not an unusual stroke, but he's very shoulder dominant as his hands actually turn to the front when he swims on fly. Usually you see a lot of people kind of leading with that baby finger, so hands kind of skimming over the top of the water, but you can see the strength in that stroke, strength in that pull under the water, because he can actually rotate the shoulders to the front. So yeah, we definitely knew that he was capable of that 1:59 and really,
Would you say that's better to do it like that in there, or?
No, you'll just naturally see more swimmers kind of just for that shoulder rotation that they'll lead with the back of their finger. But Jack there, he's obviously got a really strong pull under the water that he can just rip into that next stroke. So yeah, not surprisingly it went to 1:59.66. I definitely think he's got more in him this evening as well.
Absolutely, that was fantastic. The Irish junior record there is a 1:59.1. I don't know if he's still a junior. No, he won't be. He's 19. That's Brendan's record, obviously. But coming to the last heat of the morning session here. It's flown by. Hope you've all enjoyed it at home. The last heat now, so we've got Liam Custer obviously in lane number 4 of Sunday as well. 2:01. So we actually had nobody seated here under 2 minutes. So that's the first sub 2 minute guy we've got. So let's see if we can get another one in there for tonight. You know, because a lot of these guys, especially those middle ones, well, excuse me, Liam Custer is considerably faster than the rest of the field. I won't do him any disservice. He's fantastic. But he'll be looking sub 2 minutes. He'll have seen that Jack Casson's done that and he'll go on, right, I want a piece of that. You know, there's no better feeling than doing something like that, is it, in there, when you want to do something, a barrier like that, and you finally break it.
Yeah, like you were talking about before, there's so many different barriers in swimming. So say, like, I don't know, young swimmers breaking that 30 seconds for a 50-metre front crawl, or say, I don't know, breaking that minute barrier for a 100 front crawl. It's the same with a 200 fly, especially at this kind of level. Breaking it, being able to break a 2 minute is like completely different kind of mental block, I guess. And if they know that they can do it once, and once that barrier is broken, they know that they can do it over and over again.
So final heat. And we're off. Great camera shot there. Seeing all the swimmers. So men's 200 fly, here we go. I'll run through the lanes very quickly. In lane number 0, we've got Phil Hanley of Blackrock. Lane number 1 of Curra, the 18-year-old Hala Kazakovic. I hope I pronounced that right. Lane number 2, Samuel Wright, Bangor. 3, Ronan Kilcoyne of Sligo. Custer, like I mentioned, 4. Donlan of Glenalbin, the 16-year-old, in 6. Liam Mathers of Barnbridge in lane number 6. Lane number 7, Matthew McAviney of Kilkenny. Next to him is Ollie Brennan in lane 8. Coolmine and Conor Corbett running out the field, the Wexford man.
Yeah, so we've got an even playing field kind of in these middle 4 lanes, starting off heat number 3, so our final heat. Again, you can see the strength in these lads as they're breathing every one, so really have that power to keep the chest high and also drive that stroke forward as well. But I think we have a slight lead there from lane number 3.
Yeah, closer race though, wasn't it? And I thought Custer would take it out a bit more. These other guys are taking it to him though.
Absolutely. So all of them breaking that 60-second barrier, so we've got lane 4, 5 and 6 kind of going around 59 high, 59.7 as the first touch there. So they're really going to have to kick down into this third 50 and just hold on for the fourth if they want a middle lane for this final session.
Look, just for a bit of sort of reference, Custer's entered on a 2:01.0, and the 2 boys next to him, Kilcoyne and Dublin, are entering 2:08s and 2:09s, and they're hanging right with him. So this is a fantastic swim from them two. Hanging really strong. Custer maybe chilling a wee bit, which is expected, which is fine. These other 2 boys are really taking it to him. Yeah, number
see
3,
if lactic acid kicks in on the final 25. But no, all 3 lads are looking really, really strong. But I think it's lane 3 that's going to take it. So Ronan Kilcoyne from Sligo really staying strong. I think he's tying up just a little bit, but I'd say he can hold on for this last kind of 12.5 metres.
Yeah, coming in. Can't pick them, folks. Pick your winner. It looks like maybe Custer. Is it Custer? No, lane number 5.
Lane number 4.
It was Custer, yeah. It was Custer 2:06.6. So he chilled out a bit more there. The other 2 great PBs, though. You know, that's what you would like to see. So Custer entered in a 2:01. You know, sort of thought, you know, my place is booked for the final, so I'll just take it a bit easier. And the other 2 took advantage of that and swam off him and got great PBs. Great to see.
Absolutely. I think they used their tactics well. I think they knew that they had to go out with Liam there to get a strong first 100 and then pretty much just hold on for the second 100. But they've clearly got that fitness. They've clearly done a good amount of training to be able to PB like that, to go 2:07. So the 2 lads there, really, really strong swims. So I'm sure we'll see all 3 of them going into the final session this evening.
Absolutely, yep. So that concludes our coverage this morning for the Irish Open Championships 2023. We'll be back tonight at, is it 5:30 start or 5?
5:30 start.
5:30 start tonight. So for some really interesting swims tonight, that women's 50 free, Daniel Whiffen, and the men's 400 free is going to be fantastic. And even the men's 100 breast as well is going to be so great. So
don't forget about that women's 100 fly.
That women's 100 fly too. Sorry, Ellen Walsh. Won't be much of a race, but
yeah.
But it'd be great to see if she go 57. But anyway, that's all from us. So see you all later on tonight. Thanks.